This episode of Between Two Burns is brought to you by the Pipe Pint. Indulge in the finer things in life with our premium selection of cigars, wine, and pipe tobacco. Visit us at any of our brick-and-mortar locations or shop online at thepipepint.net. Mix and match 20 cigars for 10% off and enjoy free shipping on all orders over $150. From Rocky Patel to Drew Estate, we carry all your favorite brands. Must be 21 or older to purchase. The Pipe Pint, elevating your relaxation experience. Now, enjoy the show.
Episode 6, Between Two Burns.
And what a doozy it's going to be.
Special event. The official Between Two Burns Super Bowl podcast preview.
Can we get the edit guy to play the Fox preview football song, or is that copyrighted? Can we get Carrie Underwood?
Yes, we can get Carrie Underwood, but I think she has a restraining order against me currently, so
That's fair.
you guys can get Carrie Underwood. I can't get her.
Yeah.
Now, the maybe bigger news than Super Bowl preview is we have our first and maybe most special of guests.
There's not just so much can be said about him, but the listeners know him as Gambling Guy. So, Gambling Guy, thanks for coming on today.
Much appreciated. Glad to be here.
Gambling Guy, G Unit,
That works too.
10 by 100 guy.
Oh no.
G's Nuts. I actually thought I like G's Nuts a lot. I wanted to bring it up kind of casually, as I wasn't sure how you would react. But
It's
I
not
think
that
G's
bad.
Nuts is
G's Nuts gambling segment. This could be reoccurring.
Stone Cold Lead Pipe Locks brought to you by G's Nuts.
It's not terrible. It's not the worst I've ever heard.
It's incredible.
No, it's unbelievable.
It's incredible.
Copyright, Tony. You throw me $100 bill, I'll let you have it.
All right.
At the end of the
Sounds like a plan.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to little Super Bowl preview. Like I said, we're going to do our picks, talk about the games a little bit. We're going to smoke some cigars, talk about some cigars that are coming into the shop and everything like that. But real quick, kind of like we always do, let's get into what we're smoking. So I'm going to let you actually, because you kind of picked for G and I for our cigars to start. So why don't you go through them?
So I took this Super Bowl episode very literally. We're going to talk about what our Super Bowl cigars are later, but That's what I'm smoking. I'm smoking my Super Bowl cigar, the Padron 45th Anniversary Maduro. It's one of the best cigars ever made, in my opinion. I smoke it on my birthday. I smoked it the day I got married. I smoke it on special occasions. So if I were to win the Super Bowl, I'd have a couple boxes of those, and that's what I'd be passing out to the boys.
And it's a good pick, too, because I did not do the research on this. So just throwing it out there. But the last Super Bowl the Patriots won, Robert Kraft brought, I do know for a fact, Padron cigars to the locker room as the victory cigar. It was like a custom chest done by Padron. I want to say, I think it was actually 80th.
Okay.
But it may have been 45th as well. But it was a Padron anniversary for their victory cigar.
Yeah, and let's be honest. Any Padron, I don't really care what it is. It's going to be good. This is
not
just
gonna go wrong.
Yeah, this is my favorite. So that's what I'm going with. Now with yours, I'm breaking out the old telephone because I'm going to spit some facts with yours, but I couldn't remember all the facts.
Spitting hot fire?
Spitting hot fire. So you are smoking the Warped Peace Unique.
Yep.
So this cigar came out last year. There were only 300 boxes made, if I'm not mistaken. 15 boxes per cigar. This was a cigar we talked about whether or not we were even going to bring in because this cigar retailed for $40. That's a lot of money for a cigar. But we talked to Kyle. We're big fans of Kyle, as everybody knows, and we talked to him, and we agreed to do it, and I'm very glad we did because it was one of my favorite cigars that came out last year. It was a cigar that you didn't get to smoke when we got it.
No.
And I grabbed a couple, and I wanted you to smoke it, so now you're smoking it. So
I appreciate it.
The specs on this thing are pretty crazy. So each bale of tobacco utilized within Peace Unique was sourced by Kyle. It has grade 1 Ecuadorian Connecticut shade wrapper from ASP, marked as bale number 3BW. That's fun. And then it has binders and fillers from Nicaragua and the Dominican Republic. It was made at La Isla, and there was only one pair of rollers responsible for making the cigar, and they were capped at 150 cigars per day. So they were making 10 boxes of these per day. And then the cigars were actually aged for a year before it came out. So incredibly unique, incredibly rare. You've said before your favorite cigar is Opus 20. I think that's the closest cigar I've ever smoked to an Opus 20.
So you told me that when you first had it, and then you had saved me one back. So, not gonna lie, it starts like that. It is in that wheelhouse, right? It's in that realm for sure.
Yep. And then gambling guy, G Money, you're smoking the Plasencia Almafuerte Claro Sixto. So Nicaraguan binder and filler, Nicaraguan wrapper leaf from Jalapa. Again, Plasencia would be on my personal list of Super Bowl cigars. Like if I couldn't get Padron, I would happily take a Plasencia. The interesting thing about the cigar you're smoking is it's called the Sixto. Nestor Plasencia thinks that the hexagonal shape is the perfect shape in nature and in general, so that's why they, instead of box pressing it, they put the hexagon press on it, I guess you'd call it. It's a great cigar. I know you've smoked it before, but again, another good contender for Super Bowl cigars.
Have you smoked it in that shape before?
Yes.
The Sixto?
Yeah.
Do you like it?
I do.
I've never smoked it.
Yep.
I've had the cigar, but I've not had the hexagon.
I haven't either.
I mean, does it? You haven't had it either?
I hadn't had the hexagon. I love the cigar.
The ring gauge in general is not what I gravitate to anyway, so I wouldn't grab it. But
no, me neither. But this is gonna be a Freudian question for you. Does it feel weird in the mouth?
Yes, cheese nuts. Does it feel weird in your mouth?
Because I'm used to a larger ring size.
Oh boy.
No, it's
Yeah.
you mean because of the shape of the cigar?
First and last appearance on the podcast. I mean,
No, it's pretty normal smoke. Yeah.
Good.
that's good. That's good. So, and then, like always, what you drinking?
Again, took this whole Super Bowl thing literally. So I brought with me my very last bottle of the Jack Daniel's Eric Church Single Barrel. It's a great bottle. Obviously, I love Eric Church and I love Jack Daniel's, but I brought it because if I won the Super Bowl, that would mean I'd have enough money to have my own barrel of Jack Daniel's with my name on the bottle, and that's what I'd be drinking. I'd be passing out bottles of Jack Daniel's from a barrel that I picked winning the Super Bowl.
That would be it. That would be the place you would go.
That's it.
Yeah.
I don't want any champagne. I'm not a big champagne guy. Beer's beer. Like beer, but if I want something special, it's gonna be whiskey.
Just get doused in whiskey.
Yeah,
Wearing the goggles.
would love
The
to.
ski goggles and everything.
Yeah. It'd be nice. It'd feel good.
Well, we went. Greg and I went more simplistic. We went wine. We went with Pure Paso, popular bottle for us e-commerce wise and in the shop, but finger quotes proprietary blend as they refer to it as. But very Paso, fruity, good crushable.
Would you say it's pure Paso?
I would say it's Pure Paso.
Yeah, that's right. I like it. Yeah, pure Paso is really good. Mostly cab,
J.
little bit
Lore.
of Syrah.
Yep.
There's some Malbec in there, a little Petit Verdot. Great bottle though.
Yeah.
Absolutely great bottle.
So before we get into the main topic of the show and the football stuff, let's talk a little bit, since we can cover some cigars. We've had some cool stuff come in just in that short period of time since our last podcast.
Yeah,
one big one to the shop because we
Yeah.
are such a popular store for the Perdomo stuff. We got the Perdomo 30th in.
Oh, I would say two big ones for the shop. I didn't realize you were going Perdomo 30 there
Oh, yeah.
because we also got the brand new El Rey de los Habanos.
Yeah. Well, I was getting to that one next. That one deserves a little bit more,
Can we
coup de
drum,
grace.
we could drum roll that one?
Yeah, you could
Sound
wait.
guy.
We'll
Sound guy's gonna
sound guy will
drum
throw a
it.
drum
Yeah.
roll in on that one. But
Yeah, no, Perdomo 30. Awesome. Have you smoked it yet? I know you like Perdomo.
Not yet, but I got a question about the 15th when we get there,
The 15th.
or the new.
the new El Rey.
Correct. Thank you.
Gotcha. All right,
Yes.
we'll get there. Yeah, Perdomo 30 brought it in two wrapper leaves, Connecticut and Maduro. Along with it came the Perdomo 12-year vintage, the double age, where they aged the wrapper leaf for an extended period in the bourbon barrels again. Really good. 30th, 15-year-old wrapper leaves, Nicaraguan binder and filler on both of them. Just in Greensboro right now. Kind of a little trial run, but it's going so well. I think we'll see it in the other stores within the coming weeks.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to every store. So if you're out there listening and you're wondering if it is, it's going to be there probably within the next 30 days, I would say. It's just that time of the year where we kind of ease cigars in and everything like that, make sure the store is back to 100% coming off of the holidays.
Yeah.
It's such a busy holiday season.
That was the conversation we had right after New Year of what, each of us wanted to see in the stores this year. And sitting down and think about it, there's plenty of things, but the first thing that jumped off of the top of my head was getting Perdomo 30th in here. It won so many awards last year, so many accolades.
It's gonna be on a lot of lists.
A lot of lists. We are good friends with the Perdomos. You've been. I'm going. We sell a lot of them. No reason for us to not have it, and I'm glad we did it.
Yeah,
customers have received it very well.
And you may or not have mentioned it, but right now just Connecticut and Maduro. Yep. Correct. Yeah. Yep. And then the big news, and you and I talked about this in a previous podcast that it was coming. We didn't know when it was. It was episode 3. We didn't know when it was coming to us because they had released it to some. Was it TAA accounts that got it first? Okay, so TAA accounts got it first. It came to us sooner than I thought it was going to. Would you agree?
I was expecting PCA. So
that's kind of what I was thinking too, which was, spring going into summer, end of April is when PCA is. So I kind of thought it would be the key. And it's still going to be the key piece. I think that they revolve their show around for them personally. Because right now, 10 count boxes, but the plan is 20 count boxes. It's a good cigar.
Do you feel like you guys getting it a little sooner was a nod to the history with y'all?
No. It seemed like that everybody was getting it about this time, based on what I saw across the social media.
Now we may have jumped on it sooner than everybody else. Other people may be waiting, or other companies may be waiting till the 20 count boxes become available. Maybe they wait till PCA.
Yeah, sure. I think it was fortuitous for us to go ahead and, if there was any cigar that we wanted as soon as that cigar came out, there's a handful of companies like, yes, we want it immediately. Given that we've had that history with them, it was 20 minutes maybe after we got the email that it was available, is that we put it in order for all the stores. Excuse me.
Yeah, and something that most of the listeners don't know that we tried to work out. I actually ordered some boxes of it before Christmas from a
you
TAA
hit us
retailer.
with a surprise with it,
Yeah, and I was hoping we'd be able to do it on a podcast episode blind where we live reacted to it, but unfortunately that didn't work out. And the thing about it though, even if we had done that, I think our response would have been the exact same. It's very good. It's very different. It's nothing like the original. We said it wasn't going to be anything like the original.
And it's not meant to be. No. Right? It's a completely different blend. It's a blend that's not even very similar, than the other one. I mean,
Habano Rosado versus Sumatran Maduro. I mean, it's night and day difference.
Yeah.
But it's very good. It's well received. We've already sold through. Our first shipment here at this store for the most part, got to reorder it, which is always a good sign. That means people have bought it initially, yes, but that means they're also rebuying it, and that's what we want to see on it. I've had people asking me when it's going to be back in here. So I think it has staying power just like the old one did.
And another good thing about it, very great price point.
Mm-hmm.
Great price point. Considering what news come in, it very well could have been much more expensive. Stayed kind of in the price point that we already had it in, which was great, which we already considered to be one of the best values in the humidor. Now we're down to Churchill's only, but still.
Yeah, and they just did this revamp, I think it was last year, to get all of their box counts on the Don Pepin stuff the same. Because, one used to be 18 versus 24 versus 21. It was all different, and it depended on what line you had. I kind of wish that they would keep El Rey in a 10-count box. I feel like that is very approachable for a consumer. You can walk out of the store with a box of cigars for less than $100.
Yeah.
But I get it. They like uniformity after they just did the big rebranding. But, it is what it is. The cigar's not going to change, so it'll just be a different box.
Actually, that's a good question for you. You're obviously on the podcast. You're a friend, but you're also a customer.
Sure.
Do you would to his point, which was a 10-count box, nice, we'll call it a crisp, clean $100 bill, to walk out with the 10-count box, would you gravitate to buying 10 if it was in that versus like a 20-count box?
Sure. Yeah,
versus let's say, just grabbing 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Would you gravitate towards that?
I would.
Yeah.
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 Well,
it's an interesting, because we've talked about it along with a lot of
Fat Bottom Betty numero uno example.
10-count boxes really work. It was the reason we went to 10-count boxes for our anniversary cigar. When we had the party, it's like, here, the cigars are X, but you buy it by the box. Here it is. Crisp, clean, $100 bill, out the door. You're ready to go.
And I'm not a big box guy anyway. So when you talk about 10, that's a lot more doable for me than doing.
Given the ring gauge you smoke, you're a literal big box guy, bro. like your cigars come in large format boxes.
I buy a box of those.
They're the reasons I have a headache when we redo the humidor.
like God forbid we got into like an event with large ring gauge. You'd need a hand cart to get out of here.
I would have to put them in my trunk,
That's exactly right. Well, and funny you bring up the 10 count box. I know what your Super Bowl cigar was going to be, not to spoil it, but it's a 10 count box. And that's one of the few boxes I think you've ever actually bought from us now that I'm sitting here thinking about it.
Correct.
I was never, when I was a customer before, never was a box buyer.
Well, I spoke them so
I
damn
bought
fast.
boxes worth of cigars, 20 at a time, but I was always like 5 of this, 4 of that, 3 of this, 2 of that.
A little variety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is. I guess just I like trying different things, but even sometimes it just be repetitive of the same 20 cigars, just mix and match.
Yeah, a lot of times when I buy boxes, it's for aging. Like
aging,
when
you buy a box, you typically buy something that box is not coming around again anytime soon, and if it is, it's going to be a while. It's going to be limited. The most stuff at least that I personally see you buying boxes of, it's the last limited edition.
The last box of cigars that I bought that wasn't limited edition was a box of Padron Exclusivos, which if I couldn't get 45s is my favorite Padron. And that was for my birthday, and I handed them out to you guys at the birthday party as a celebration. So, it just...
Oh, you're saying otherwise it was
otherwise
kind of
otherwise you're exactly right. It was all limited edition.
Yeah, you got yourself a box of Boris Karloff.
Yep, got a box of Karloff.
Have you smoked one yet? I assume you have, yeah. Is it good?
It's very good.
Yeah.
Yep, gonna age really well.
Yeah. On the tat hierarchy, is it up there?
It's
a cigar I'm not going to smoke. Not for anything against Tatuaje, just there's so few of it.
Yeah.
We sold the boxes that we had.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing, for anybody listening, you're like, oh, you said you only got 2 boxes. You got one for yourself. No, I bought a box at retail from somebody else because I wanted to make sure our customers got taken care of.
Yep.
Karloff is one of my favorite blends that Tatuaje's ever done. It tasted just as good as the original. So, yeah, I'd say it's high up there on the hierarchy.
Yeah.
Now, my favorite, it's tough to say.
What is your favorite Tatuaje of all time?
It's tough to say, but probably the Mummy.
I was going to say it's one of the monsters, right?
Probably. Now, with that being said, the Mummy Redux should be this year. That's one where I hope we get 30 or 40 boxes because I'm going to want, this is no joke, legitimately like 5 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is my favorite cigar, and it ain't no joke.
Employee pricing.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right.
You got the hookup. You take the hookup, man.
That's right. But,
so speaking about the El Rey, obviously the history you guys have. I saw the Instagram posts. You guys talked about it on episode 3. It's a big freaking deal.
Oh yeah.
To have that cigar, have the exclusivity that you did. The post was great. Is that cigar an homage to the original, or is this completely blazing new?
To my knowledge, blazing new. It's different than the first, different than the second, and now it's its own iteration.
I would argue that our reiteration of it was an homage to the first one.
Sure. Yeah.
Much more so than this one, because the original was a Corojo wrapper made with Aganorsa tobacco. Obviously, they couldn't do that when they made the second one. So they went Habano, which is the dirty cousin to Corojo. They used the exact same band, the exact same artwork. Like if you looked at a box, one of the originals versus one of ours, they looked exactly the same. Whereas now, completely different band, completely different color scheme, sort of. It's still red and black, I guess, but it's got the gold.
The predominant
and
red is still there.
It's got the Pepin flags and all that on there that he does. Like I said, I think ours was the homage, but that's because Larry wanted it to be an homage. Larry didn't want anything different.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I think you want to... And it was a big deal. It was a big deal at the time because you just don't... It's a unique piece where you'll see a lot of cigar shops will have things exclusive to them, but they're typically... like we do with La Colonia. Like it's either a brand or a house blend. Right. So like, as you know, we've got our Pipe and Pint band and stuff. Then we have La Colonia. We've done those things like that. And I think that's kind of a lot of shops will operate that or just like on a private label basis. But to completely resurrect a band, label, name that had gone dormant for so many years. And also, it's named, the Cigars namesake is the original building in Miami.
Mhm.
You know, so like to have that name on there is a
And
big
to be
deal
the
as well.
sole keeper of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And we, you know, it kind of sat in waiting for a long period of time, if that's a good way to say it. And then we really showed some emphasis on getting people to try it and experience it, because it was, none of us wanted it to be wasted away upstairs, because it's going to reach a point. It was not near, it is awesome. It is a 10 out of 10 cigar, but it's far less oomph now than it did then.
Yeah, it's a far cry from the original, but
It's
not in a bad way.
No, not a bad way. It's far more, I think it's far more floral now,
Yeah, I agree with
if that
you.
makes sense.
And you guys have people asking for them still.
Oh, yeah.
They still want
Yeah,
them.
we just sold some online the other day to
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
guy.
sold basically a full box
Yeah.
to somebody up in New Jersey, I think it was.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, I mean, I remember, I wish we could turn the camera so you could see the poster that Larry did back when Pipe Pint came here for the launch of it. In
Yeah, they released it here. He was
in
here.
2013,
2012, 2013, something like that.
13 or 14.
Was that late? Okay.
Yeah. Either way, it was very much, this is the man, this is his brand, and he's made this for us. But like Jason said, it did lay in dormant, but it was also one of those situations where we were one small shop in Greensboro at the time.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
no social media presence.
Yeah, no social
no online
media,
presence.
but
Like
just the one store. Now we're 5 stores strong.
5
and-
stores, big social media presence, doing the podcast, have a larger network of customers from social media and a variety of other things.
Shout out Leisure Leaf, Mike Martella, if you're listening.
Andrew Lazo.
Soon to be guest. Like
Yeah.
those guys turn people on well outside of our traditional reach of customers. That
Yeah, I think
once they got their hand on it, knew what it was. and they
Saints
just-
and Sinners got a
Saints
hold
and
of
Sinners
it.
got a hold of it, so it moved down the line. So.
Yeah, I think we've never talked about Lazo before. Great guy. He has the Nashville Cigar Box Club.
Yep.
And if you're in Nashville, you should hit him up because it looks awesome. They pair food with cigars, and I've always wanted to go. But they've done La Colonia, and I'm pretty sure they did El Rey too.
They did. He did.
It's just the getting it out there, and it was a lot harder to do back in the day when it was just one store. And Larry, the man doesn't have a phone. He doesn't
have a phone number.
No, he's like, Kevin, I got 6 numbers. One more would have made a hole in it. Yeah, so he just didn't care. And, I shouldn't say he didn't care. He cared about the brand, obviously.
Cared
but
immensely,
he
just
would
went
have been
about it a
okay with
different way.
keeping them himself for an
Definitely.
eternity.
Definitely. He would have smoked them. And we're reaching to the point where we're going to be keeping the rest for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We if you are listening to this and you have interest in them, and we put it out on social media, we're down to less than 15 boxes.
Yeah, I counted the other day. It's 13.
Oh, 13. All right. So
It's 13 bucks.
13 boxes. So
Minus
there are
2.
9 available for sale. It's basically how this is at the moment. But it's really cool to see it. I do think, they told us quite a while ago that this was the plan for this. Now, I do think the original intent, and you correct me if I'm wrong, E, but I think they thought when the FDA stuff was going on, this was going to be a pre-predicated brand that they were able to capitalize on, which made a ton of sense.
Yep.
Now that's just not the case, but they still decided to do it because it's a great brand extension in line for them to go back in with.
It's a natural thing to get back to.
And they may have run out of the law names, the Legrands.
And you guys talked about it in the episode. You don't blame them.
No,
I mean, you got
no. There's no.
You got the name. You got a potential to sell some really great cigars and be successful at it. So why not?
Yeah, and it's pretty cool now to be able to post about, that we were kind of the carekeepers of it, and they gave us tons of advance notice, and we're not left with 300 boxes of something we weren't sure what to do with. Now, to be fair, I think if we had a couple hundred boxes left, selling them as a comparison and kind of going through it and everything like that would not have been an issue. But it's great that it came and we're down to a select number of boxes that we can talk about it, because the odds are that new El Rey is a cigar that stays on our shelves
forever.
for as long as that they continue to make it.
So speaking of comparison, can you, or is it that different? You cannot.
I don't think you can.
You just don't
personally.
compare.
No,
What about you?
you can. There's no way to replicate the age that is on the existing El Rey that we have, because like you're not going to go out and age the new one for 10 years and be able to compare it to what's here now. It's just so unique. And like I said, it's different. I smoked it when it first came out. I was here at the event, and it had more punch and more spice to it initially than it does now, but not in a bad way that it's fallen off from that. It's still got a great spice to it. It's nowhere near full or anything like that anymore. But the floral piece to it, it is one of the best cigars. Like, next time you're in, I know it's not necessarily maybe your ring gauge size that you go gravitate towards, but you have it with a cup of coffee, especially coffee with a little bit of cream in it. It is there. I swear to you, there is no cigar in our humidor that reacts to coffee the way that cigar does.
You talked about that in the that episode.
It's
yeah,
incredible what you taste when you have those two things together. Like, you will know why people have different drinks with cigars when you have that one. Because there's plenty where you just have it and you're just like, oh, yeah, that's fine.
sure.
It is just the floral of it really, really gets pulled off.
So does that mean it's a different cigar today than it was day one? I mean, it's you can't even compare those two cigars.
No, I mean, there would be some there. I think you would get the vibes there, but
Sure.
yeah. If you could go back in time when taking one of these with you, you would, I think, distinctively know how much spicier the original, original date was. And
This
everything.
isn't me trying to segue, but we're going to keep it on theme here. This would be like if the Bears decided to draft Patrick Mahomes instead of Mitch Trubisky.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
Like, who knows what Patrick Mahomes may be with the Bears? They could have screwed him up like they have everybody else, or the Bears could be the Chiefs right now. You don't know, because it's impossible to say, because you can't get it fresh anymore, right? So we have nothing to compare it to. It's not like we can call up my father and say, hey, we want a box of fresh El Rey, like our El Rey, to compare to the old ones. They're going to laugh at us,
Right.
because they can't do it. You just get it's almost impossible to do.
Yeah. All right. Before we move on, a couple quick plugs. So, two big things happening. We talked about this. You saw it on social media. End of February, I'm going to work out the date with you. I think the 21st or the 22nd, we will officially go live, not recorded pod, with
The Stogies.
the Stogies. You know about the Stogies.
Oh, I know about the Stogies.
Stogies going to be a big deal. We're going to go YouTube live with it.
Maybe you get a Stogie. I
You
don't
may
know.
get a
One
Stogie.
can hope.
You may get a Stogie. I've thought about just sticking you out in the corner out there with a camera on you and letting you smoke the big 10x100 and see what goes.
It'd be like a live event at the Oscars. They don't do that, but it'd be awesome. You have like a
Yeah,
like the
like
live
a-
painting during the show and whatnot.
Yeah,
Like they keep going to
yeah,
it.
or
You just
what do
cut
you-
to me
or,
like every 10 minutes and see how I'm doing.
Yeah. It's like going to what's
Yeah,
the guy on
measure the
Family
green
Guy?
meter, yeah.
What's the guy on Family Guy with the weather? Hey Garrett, how you doing? I ain't puked yet. All right, cool. Back to Jason.
Yeah, there's I mean, I don't want to hype you up. Nominations obviously haven't come out yet. We're waiting we're waiting back from Deloitte and Touche to get the envelopes back, but yeah, there's a chance you get a I don't want to make you upset if you don't. So
Well, as
it's,
far
it's
as
just listen, you know what they say. It's an honor to be nominated.
yeah, that's all
I just
need.
don't want to tell
Yeah.
you what category you're nominated in.
I could go a lot of different ways. And
Exactly. So we got that coming the end of February, but big for you, 15th of February. So there won't be a podcast between. This will come out just before the Super Bowl, and then after that we're doing things. We'll come back with another podcast recapping it. But you're going to Nicaragua on the 15th.
Nicaragua.
I'm excited for you, man. You and Cole.
Yeah.
Shout out Cole.
Cole. I mentioned this. That
Cole-
dude is so excited. I'm excited.
He said
that
he's
dude
read,
bought
he's-
books for
He
it.
said he's read 2 books on
Books?
Nicaragua. I ain't read 2 books ever.
like on the country or the
on,
cigars?
on the history of Nicaragua.
Ah.
Yeah.
He's a history major.
He is a hit- yeah. He's
He and I did have quite the scintillating conversation the
Yeah.
last time I was in Southport.
And he's done.
Yes.
He's gone on other trips directly related.
Yeah, didn't he just
For
go
historic-
to Egypt or Israel or something like that for?
It was a couple of years ago. Now I can't remember if
Yes,
he went to
he-
Egypt or
it
Israel.
was
He went to
Israel.
Egypt.
He,
Oh, it was Israel?
I went to Egypt.
You went to Egypt. That's
He
right.
went to
I'm sorry.
Israel, and he had.
You went to Egypt to see the pyramids
That is correct.
and
Yeah.
ride a camel.
And I rode a camel.
He went to Israel because he likes history.
Yes.
Yeah.
These are two very different things.
That is
He
correct.
Both
wanted-
awesome.
He wanted to see
Yeah.
Very different.
ancient documents and.
I need to find out from Cole if he knows Hebrew because I took Hebrew in college. That's
Did you
tough.
really?
Yeah.
Lay something on me.
I can't. No. Well, actually, I could, but I can't give it.
Listen,
the
listen,
name.
I don't need, you're going to say something and the furniture's going to start floating, bro.
No.
I don't know, like cast a spell or something.
No. The name of the cigar shop that I wanted to open in college, which obviously never came to fruition.
Trying to be a competitor?
No, not anymore. This was before you owned the place.
We will bury you.
That's Sheol in Hebrew. Bury, death, the dirt. Anyways, was a Hebrew name. And I kind of want to tell you, but I also don't want to give it away because if I see a store pop up, I'm going to go burn it down.
Oh, gee.
No, I wanted to name
That'd be easy on the hate crimes there, but
that's fair. No, I wanted to name my cigar shop Havel, which means smoke or vapor in Hebrew. It's from
Okay,
Ecclesiastes.
I like that. Yeah,
Yep.
I like that. So, 15th, you and Cole, Perdomo Cigars.
Yep.
You guys are going to have a great time. So, we'll do a recap pod when you guys get back. But is there anything you're looking forward to the most about the trip? This
is going to sound ridiculous to some people.
Okay.
But let me give a backstory here. As both of you know, I've been a long hauler with COVID, right? I hadn't been able to smell correctly since I got COVID, and that's been 4 years now. And I love the smell of tobacco, and I'm to the point now where I can smell, let's say 60% of what I used to be able to smell. I can't wait to walk into the curing barns and the fermentation rooms and smell the tobacco. I know that sounds ridiculous, but
there's a
dream of it.
There's a reasonable chance that the smell inside that fermentation room jolts your senses back. It is so strong. So strong. Like when we went in there and you took your first kind of, not even just like deep breath, but just like, you can do that. It hits you like a ton of bricks.
So it's potent.
Oh my God. Yeah. It's that, I guess it's kind of that ammonia, in the fermentation process coming out of there. And it just, it's like if you breathe it in that,
You do know if you go and that works for you, everybody's going to flock to the cigar factories to get
we could make some money.
Sure, you could.
We start chartering Nicaraguan anti-COVID trips, COVID cure
factory
trips.
tours to restore your smell. Yeah, absolutely.
Dippy shit right there. I like it.
They won't be putting no tariffs on that, buddy.
That's exactly
making
right.
money.
Yeah, but that, and I'm looking forward to walking through the fields of tobacco.
Because
I've always wanted to do it, and I've seen pictures of it, and the tobacco goes on for
That was my
miles.
favorite part because the weather's nice when you're there. The temperature is, anyway. When we were there, same time of year, lower 70s to mid 70s, depending. It's not rainy season, I don't believe, or anything like that. We had a little bit of rain, but you're going to be comfortable. The place they set you up with there is great. The food is awesome at the place they set you up. You get to see some kind of local artisans of some different products and everything like that.
I'm buying the boots.
If you come back.
I'm buying the boots.
The iguana boots. These boots were,
do you have a pair?
I regret to this day not bringing the iguana boots back.
Okay.
They're handmade. The spine of the iguana went right down the middle of the boot with the spikes on it and everything. They were that kind of similar to the color of your shirt, that kind of blue, light blue, green kind of seafoam, like
sure
black, and I would be a different man today. I'm gonna tell you right now, if I got those boots. There's a certain level of confidence and swag that comes along when you build up the courage to wear those boots out. Okay. And I think once you do it one time, you wear those out, I assume that women throw themselves at your feet.
So do you have to have the courage to wear them out, or do they give you the courage once you wear them out?
Oh, no, buddy. He'll take some pictures. You're going to have to build up some courage to put these things on, dude. They are.
I don't care.
Legit.
No. Okay.
I'm buying the boots. I don't
now,
care how much
they are. They are incredible. All handcrafted. He brings a whole bunch there in varying sizes. The odds are they may not have your size of what you're looking for, but then you tell him, like, this is what you're looking for, goes back to the shop that night.
And while you're still in Nicaragua,
he
makes you a custom.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's got some kind of
sure
2/3 of the way done or whatever it may be. And then those boots are back to you the next day or before you leave.
I'm wearing them on the stogies.
Okay, that's fair.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely. He just wants to show us up. I hear you.
I mean, I have to get my daughter a pair,
Well, you
too.
lock
My
up-
wife would shoot me.
You lock up the best boots category right there.
Yeah, that's
You know?
exactly right. That's exactly right.
Yeah, you'd get a stogie for best.
Yeah, it's like automatic.
I would tell you right now, we will present you with a stogie if you wear those. boots.
Wear those things in.
Yeah. That's going to be the last thing. What do they do at the Oscars? Last thing? Best picture?
Yeah.
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 That'll be the last award given.
Excellent.
All right. You guys want to talk some football?
Let's talk some football.
All right,
Absolutely.
Super Bowl preview. So, all right, before we get started, camera. I don't want to give away my pick, but I do have my Taylor
Okay.
Swift Chiefs in the
So you're
luxury
repping the
box
team
Chiefs
right
shirt.
here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a Chiefs fan, as you know, but I do. We'll get to the pick later, but
Sure,
it's
sure.
probably giving it away a little bit. So the one sad thing about the Super Bowl.
Two sad things.
Well,
If I
number
know
one,
that
number
you're-
one,
Well, no, the number one.
number
sad
no,
thing
the,
is,
the number
is
one,
that
the Lions aren't in it.
No.
Come
that's
on,
not-
man.
no. That like
We all feel for you, man. We
Yeah.
all feel for the Lions fans and the
Yeah.
Lions. Yeah,
But I got a national championship out of Michigan last year, so my heart's
Okay,
full,
yeah.
as they say.
It's fair.
that'll hold you over one more
But-
season, right?
But the C word's not getting in there. It's tough for our guy. If you're listening, Ethan, diehard Commanders fan,
I had my
Even
Jaden
ba-
Daniels
even
jersey
back-
ready to go for today.
grown man, two
I was about
two
to say,
grown men,
Yeah,
both of you
it was tough, man.
wearing another man who's 15 years younger than you guys jersey, which is just a hard pull
Yeah.
to do that.
Love that guy.
But my rule is
Listen,
this
You
is
can't
listen,
wear a
listen,
jersey of a man that's.
no. Listen, first of all, a man wearing another man's jersey is odd as it is. Okay,
I'm a jersey guy.
but
You wouldn't wear a jersey.
my exception is the person has to be at least 35 years older than you if you're going to wear his
I
jersey.
feel like, well, no, I'm right. I feel like Milk Guy would have a bone to pick with you about this.
he's not a jersey guy.
Jordan,
He wouldn't wear a Jordan jersey.
get out of here.
He's not a jersey
So,
guy.
so what do you get? Like a Jim Kelly in the closet?
Is he that much older than me?
I would say he's got you by 30. Nah, not
Yeah,
that much.
listen, if you're a Buffalo Bills fan,
You got a Kelly
and you're
jersey,
you're
yeah.
a grown man.
You can wear a Jim
You
Kelly
wear
jersey.
the Jim Kelly jersey. Don't wear the Josh Allen jersey.
Okay.
That's just personal opinion. If you're a
I
jersey
mean,
person,
it's
I don't
tough.
know.
I mean, I'm
It's-
36.
It's
I'm
30.
putting a guy's jersey on. He's 22, right?
I think he's 25.
Is he that old?
Yeah, he played like.
he
9
played-
Yeah, that's
years
right. He had a
ago.
few extra seasons,
Yeah,
right?
COVID years, man.
Yeah,
Foggy.
yeah.
He is a long hauler.
Yeah, that's right.
He had the long COVID. No, he had the long college career. But, great season.
Great
you can't
season.
say
Great
you
season.
can't say anything.
So you,
Great
a-
season.
as a
Great
fan,
season.
you got to be. You were in the probably the most envious sports position a person can be in. You were playing with house money with your team,
Like half the
Obviously,
season.
Yeah, and obviously disappointed that you didn't make it to the Super Bowl, but that exceeded expectations by tenfold. And now you can't guarantee you're ever going to get back or anything like that. I understand, but you guys have free agency money to spend.
Third and
You've
cap
got you've
Yep.
got your quarterback.
Yep.
You've got some skill position plays. You got a wide receiver. You got to work on the defense, obviously. But they were just. I mean, they were.
They were young.
The final score obviously is a big disparity.
Turnovers,
They
man.
were right in that. The turnovers killed them, and they were in that game. And that Austin Eckler fumble drove a stake
So,
in it.
I saw something
That
this
was the
morning.
toughest one.
I saw something this morning that said Jaden Daniels got the Commanders within 2. It was 14-12, and the next time he touched the ball, it was 27-12.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Like
'cause
you
they
can't
had, yeah.
because of special teams
And the fumbles,
and
yeah.
the fumble.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you can't win games. And unfortunately, it was the same thing that happened to the Lions against the Commanders.
Correct.
5 turnovers. I mean, the stupid Jamison Williams interception when there was a little bit of momentum going
Yeah.
your way. Like,
Mhm.
unfortunately, turnovers are going to be the deciding factor in the playoffs.
Especially when you're playing a team that good.
And the interesting thing
yeah.
is, I'm more confident. If you're just a football observer, I would be more confident in the Commanders getting back to the NFC Championship game than I would the Lions. As talented as the Lions are, you lose your defensive coordinator,
Yep.
you lose your offensive coordinator,
Yep.
and then I saw that not only did they lose Ben Johnson to the Bears,
They lost their quarterback coach too, didn't
Antoine Randall went with them.
That was
The wide
receiver
receivers coach, which was a smaller, part of the team when you're a wide receivers coach, but like, there's a lot of the infrastructure is gone. They've promoted some guys, so you wonder now going in, even though you have all this talent coming back, you wonder going in, are the new guys going to be able to get you going in the same direction? The offense is the thing. Like, I think the defense can be coached up. Like Aaron Glenn did a good job. The defense was not very good.
Yeah.
So
well,
y'all
y'all are also hurt. I mean,
yeah, tons of injuries. No Aiden Hutchinson, but that has just room to go up.
But to your point, we're keeping our OC, man.
Yeah. Cliff's coming back.
It's a big deal.
That was announced today, and
Yeah, Kingsbury's back.
Yeah, Kingsbury's back. I think everybody's excited, fans included, obviously. But I'll be honest with you, the reason I bought the Daniels jersey is the same reason I bought a Kyle Bryant or a Chris Bryant jersey when the Cubs won, and that's because that dude gave me hope, right? Because the Cubs hadn't won a World Series in 108 years, won the World Series. And
might be 108 before they get the next one.
Yeah, you're right.
Tough
but
shit.
the Commanders had not been in the NFC Championship game in my life. The only time I'd ever been excited to be a Commanders fan was when we had RG3 for
What
that
year were you
one
born?
season, 94.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's true.
That was
91.
Because
91
91,
they
91 they win the Super Bowl in
Yep.
91.
Against the Bills.
Beat the Bills in the Super Bowl. Oh man, that would have been.
Tough Bills.
Should play that as a
0-4
consolation
for
game.
the
They should do
Super
that.
Bowl. And
Oh,
then
you like a third
0-4
place?
against
They should do a
Patriots.
Third
place
place between
game.
the Commanders and Bills?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather watch that than the Pro Bowl.
Oh,
I would
that's for
absolutely rather watch that than the Pro Bowl. Now you're not gonna be able to convince any of those guys to play an extra game just for the.
And
the
the
hell
Mannings
of it.
the Mannings are showing up for the Pro Bowl. They're coaching the two flag football
They
teams.
also have the Kick of Destiny or whatever.
Who's getting it?
I picked
I think
Peyton.
it's like a vote thing.
Oh, is it really a vote?
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
guess
Okay,
is
all right.
my guess is they're going to give it to whoever has the less votes because that way they have to give less people money. But
They're still giving out the $10
You
million.
got to give people money.
yeah,
they're giving out
it's,
$10
it's
million.
free. You can do it on FanDuel. You can sign up for it, and you pick if Peyton or Eli is going to win, and if you pick the right person, you win your share of $10 million in bonus bets.
Who do you want to see
So if
kick
I'm the
it?
only one who picks Eli, I get $10 million.
Correct.
Sick.
Who do you want to see kick it?
Uh,
Because the commercial's great.
I
stash
really
going.
don't care. I just want the bonus bets, man.
Okay, just the bonus. All right.
Yeah.
Who do you want to see kick a field goal?
Let me see Eli.
Yeah.
Peyton gets the shine and everything.
I was shocked to learn in the commercial the other day. He's 44 already.
Who is Eli?
Eli.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Peyton's got to be.
He's got to be close, knocking on the door of 50, right?
Oh yeah, sure. Because he came out of Tennessee in '97. Yeah,
He
because
did go back that one more year though.
Yeah, because he was in that famous Heisman Trophy
With
finalist with
Woodson,
him
right?
and Woodson,
Yeah.
Ryan Leaf, and Randy Moss. Yeah, that was 1997.
At least they didn't give it to Leaf.
Tough sell, bro.
Yeah,
So
At least the other three are Hall of Famers.
that's right. Yeah.
yeah.
He's still having trouble.
You think?
Yeah. No, I actually saw the clip of this whole Heisman thing about those guys, and I was like, whatever happened to that guy? It's not good. It's
No, he spent some time in prison.
it's
I believe.
still not good.
Drugs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh?
Fraud?
Yeah.
No, I think it
Definitely
was drug
drugs.
related.
Yeah,
Yeah,
drugs,
I
yeah.
think I do think he is going in the right direction now.
He is. So just to make sure we give credit to where credit's due,
Yeah.
he's doing quite well now. Yeah.
Well, that's good.
There was a slight slip up a couple years ago, but that's not a big deal.
As long as he didn't go back to prison.
Exactly.
He may be doing like NFL analysis for somebody, I think, or college football.
He's
or something.
coaching, I think, is what he or commentating
really?
somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah. He's got a.
We can fact check that.
Speaking of commentators,
Oh,
you realize
no,
we have Brady in the Super Bowl?
So I don't think. All right, we're getting on the Super Bowl. I don't think Brady is as bad as some people. I don't think he's good. Milk guy hates him.
Yeah, I don't hate him.
He's not terrible, but he's not the guy that should be there.
Tony Romo sounded a billion times better than him.
Tony
this
Romo
week.
had maybe his best game
Yeah.
of his career as an
I
announcer
agree.
this
But
past
if we're
weekend.
sticking
He
with
called
Fox,
that game great.
If we're sticking with Fox,
It
there's
should be
someone.
Greg Olson.
Greg Olson.
That's clearly who should be in there.
We're slightly partial because we heard, Greg Olson, former Panther.
Panthers guy, yeah.
Yeah, but you could tell that he was going to be good on TV because he was doing like the I can't remember if it was Fox or CBS, or maybe it was a little bit of both. When he was still a player, and the Panthers had an off week,
Yeah, he'd be. In
or
the
they were
stadium.
eliminated the playoffs, he
Yeah.
would do studio stuff
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So if you're bringing that guy in already, like you know that he's got something,
Sure.
right? Like you can tell with these guys, like the all-time worst personal opinion. Emmitt Smith was brutal.
Oh, in as a commentator.
As
Oh, it was
as anything outside of a running back.
correct. Yeah, it was not a good.
It was tough. And
It
he
was
didn't
not
last
good.
a long time, but like there's just certain guys that seem to like have it. The interesting thing, you know who I think has it? Is Kirk Cousins. So he did, you guys, I don't remember which one he did, if he did Fox or if he did CBS over the last couple of weeks, but he's done studio stuff and like on the field, when they got the whole little panel on the field or whatever. So he's done that each of the last 2 weeks. He's been really good.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan is doing it. He's pretty
Matt Ryan's
solid.
been
Does he
decent.
finish every segment with "You like that"?
He says you like that.
Every segment
Yeah.
when he's done. All right.
You like that.
Yeah.
Trademark.
Okay. All right.
I tell you the heartbreaker thing. Who I want in the Super Bowl, and it will never happen because of who they're commentating for, is Aikman and Joe Buck.
Sure.
They have become my favorite because Aikman doesn't care anymore. Aikman just
He
lets
is
people
about
have it, and it's
lets you
awesome.
have it. So they've done a Super Bowl, right?
Have they? With who?
Well, I would assume when they were with Fox,
Oh,
because
I
they've
just
only
don't
been
remember.
only been doing Monday Night Football for the last 2 seasons, 3 seasons.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
And
I feel like they've come into their own now, and I love them. They're awesome.
Well, I think you probably consume them more now because they're on Monday Night Football. Because we wouldn't necessarily
Get every
because they
game.
were Fox.
Yeah, they'd be
They were
regional,
NFC, generally speaking.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't get a lot of their game depending because you're watching the Panthers, so you're getting the Panthers announcers. So guaranteed to see them every Monday night, you're getting them a lot more. They're a great combo. Aikman doesn't care, but has great insight. And Joe Buck's just like Hall of Fame
Yeah, he's a Hall of
sports
Famer.
voice, right? Like he's got the vibe, the sound.
He's the Jim Nance of Fox
He's the Jim Nance of
because
Fox.
he's got MLB. He does.
He does MLB.
Yeah, I
he
mean,
did
he's-
golf for a while when Fox had the USGA stuff. So like Fox had the US Open
Yeah.
for a couple years.
They broke up the dynamic duo though.
Yes, they did.
Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth.
Yeah.
I don't know, Al.
And I feel they both kind of suffered.
Yeah,
Being-
Al Michaels
Al
is
Michaels
dead
is-
dead inside watching Thursday night
DOA.
football.
Yeah,
He is dead
he's
on
pulling
arrival.
that in.
Yeah,
every
between
week.
not eating vegetables
Absolute-
and having to watch Thursday night football
He's eating,
every
a lot
week.
of, he's eating a lot of steak.
Absolute legend, but Herb Street is trying to drag him along. Like,
Yeah.
he's great, but like he's like, I don't want to watch the fucking Jags and the Titans as much as you people want to watch the
That's
Jags
exactly
and
right.
the Titans.
Only thing worse is the London game.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. He would do that from the comfort of his own home if they would allow
Yeah.
him to do it, like pre-COVID stuff.
That's
or,
right.
or during COVID, I should say.
And I don't dislike Mike Tirico. I think he's a great commentator. Does great at the Olympics.
Chris Collinsworth is just a cocaine train.
he is a cocaine train. He is a cocaine train.
But the two of them together, it's not great, man.
It's
Not great.
It's not. It's a weird dynamic because they don't exactly play off each other very well. Where like the other guys do, you know what I mean?
Well,
Like
Joe
but they both
and-
have good
And
sports voices.
yeah, Joe and Troy chemistry's out of control.
Yeah, that's
I mean, they're like a dynamic duo.
that's the gold standard at least currently.
Tony and Jim,
That's the next one. They're
coming
good.
along pretty well. I don't know about Tom and KB. I can't get on.
Tom needs to do what Tom does best and just throw footballs, and I guess manage the Raiders into
He is
something.
heavy on the Raiders, by the way.
Big
like,
time.
as you should be. He guy's part owner of the Raiders, but like appears to be very involved in the Pete Carroll hire.
Yep.
What the potential next quarterback looks like.
He's big on Shador.
He's
Big
probably
on
the next,
Sanders.
He's probably the next quarterback. No,
Yeah.
he's. I think he's done.
Oh, playing
He's
football?
got to be done.
I think
right?
legally he has to be.
Well, if he signed
think
that
you
Fox
can-
contract,
I don't
or
think
the
you
or,
can-
Well, no, I don't
the
think
ownership
he can,
thing.
Yeah, I don't think he can
Yeah,
play.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think that's. I mean, I know that's changed over the years because it used to be. No, that was kind of player coaches. So yeah, I don't think he can. You know, somebody can fact check that out there. We're not about facts, but we just throw shit out there, and then whatever happens, happens.
That's
But
right.
Ethan and I both listen to a podcast. Shout out Bill Simmons and Cousin Sal, and they
God, I love
they
them.
do
You
their,
got me on
they
it,
do
man.
their they do
I
their
am
Mike
hooked.
Tirica or their Chris guy. I don't know, man. This guy ain't no Cottle maybe the greatest quarterback I've ever seen. His arm is unbelievable. So they do an unbelievable job. But yeah, they're the gold standard. Is
Will a non-major network ever get a Super Bowl?
Amazon Prime, if I was guessing, would be my bet.
So not Netflix, not.
God, I hope not. We
Oh,
wouldn't be able to
jeez.
watch it.
Yeah, you'd watch half a game. That's all you get.
Yeah, it'd be buffering.
they did
half
okay with the
time.
Christmas games though, right? But of course, the Christmas game would
I don't
be
know.
nothing compared to what the
I
Super
didn't-
Bowl.
Well, yeah. I didn't watch the Christmas games just because it was Christmas and I was, I think, trying to recover from my in-laws.
If I remember correctly, yeah, they didn't have the issues with the Christmas game that they had during the Tyson fight.
Speaking of, this is tangential. Did you see that Logan Paul and Jake Paul are fighting each other on Max?
Because they nixed the McGregor thing, right? UFC nixed that.
Yeah.
Oh, hold up. Really?
Oh, yeah. That's out.
UFC
That's done.
put the kibosh on it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and they announced
Because
today.
Conor McGregor is still under contract with
Uh-huh.
UFC, I guess.
So they still have rights to him?
Yeah. And
Did
so
you see
they're-
all three of them were on the same bus going to the
Theo
inauguration?
Vons- Yeah.
Sick. Sick.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was tangential. That's but it.
But they're going to literally all right, now we've reached I was here for the all right, we're going to get off topic, but real quick. I was here for the Tyson Paul thing, as a spectacle.
Yeah.
But if you came away from that and thought that was lame and fixed, what the hell do you think is going to be two brothers fighting each other?
I think actually at that point you just let them slug it out.
Isn't that a movie?
Warriors? Warrior?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, that was two brothers fight each other, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It only
Great
happens,
movie.
It only happens in Warrior. That's all I'm saying.
Great movie. But yeah, I if I was guessing, I would think Amazon Prime, Bezos money, they may end up with one at some point, but it's going to be a long time from now, contractually.
I can't
And
imagine.
the thing too is, does the NFL go that route and take the Super Bowl off of a network that a lot of people can still get over the air?
Well, also you get
right,
because you lose commercial revenue at that point because you're not going to have the same audience if you go to a non-major network. You're not.
That's a good point because I only watched bits and pieces of the Christmas game, so I don't know if there were commercials during the Christmas football games or not.
Actually, I don't either.
I
don't know. I would assume so, but I don't know.
I would. Think,
But I guess that doesn't affect the NFL though, right? Like
Yeah.
if they want to sell the rights, whatever they sell the rights for, they sell the rights.
yeah, they're getting their money. Yeah, you're right.
So the Amazon's play if they don't do commercials, and I'm saying this without knowing whether or not Amazon or Netflix did commercials for those games or not. But if you're not getting that, there's no way. There's no way you could pay the rights that the NFL commands for the Super Bowl and not run some sort of additional advertising
To generate the revenue back.
To just hope that
Yeah.
new subscriptions from people to watch the Super Bowl
Yeah.
is
Now-
going to be the thing.
What would be awesome, and what everybody wants out there, is for Nickelodeon to get
pick up the Super Bowl. Yeah.
We get the slime, the dirty bubble's gonna kidnap Andy Reid just like he did.
What part? They may have it. This is a Fox Super Bowl. I feel like Nickelodeon is part of the Fox family.
No, it's CBS.
Oh, it's CBS.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so the CBS
Yeah.
games are the ones
Yeah,
that
the
get.
CBS games. But I mean, could you imagine right now Dora
get
the
the dirty
Explorer
bubble?
trying to help Saquon Barkley find the end zone?
Does he need help?
He doesn't at the
I don't know
moment.
if he
Yeah,
needs
that's
help,
fair.
man.
At the moment, he doesn't need much help. But that
That's
would
fair.
be
It'd be all-timer.
unbelievable if the Rugrats were throwing
All-timer.
blocks.
Yeah. All timer. Dude, we could have the SpongeBob halftime show.
He could have Hey Arnold out there. He's actually getting his homage to his head. at
Yeah,
this
yeah,
point,
they're kicking Hey Arnold across
That's right,
to the
yeah.
goalpost.
Still-
It's like
still
the
one of the
CBS
best
commercials.
commercials
Yes, that commercial's
all
unbelievable.
Time Creed in there.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Anyways.
All right, so we got Eagles Chiefs part D.
D.
We saw this 2 years ago. It was a good game 2 years ago.
It's a great game.
Yep.
I mean, it's a great game. Kind of everybody showed up for it too. Like
73 points.
Yeah, Hurts had a bunch. Looked great. He had the critical turnover, obviously, that I don't want to say cost him the game, but was a huge turning point in the game. But everybody showed up for that game. So I'm gonna, before we get into picks, I'm gonna tell you guys a stat I saw today that I don't want this to affect. I don't know what either of you guys are comparing. We're gonna go through some picks, do some props and stuff like that. But no team has ever won the Super Bowl while losing to Kirk Cousins during the regular season. And the Philadelphia Eagles lost to the Atlanta Falcons this year.
You like that?
You like that? Yeah, that does not bode well. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Now, Kirk has never been around for 70 years or anything like that, but he's played a lot of football. And if he
Wait,
has
Kirk-
beat you,
Did you say Kirk beat the Falcons beat the Eagles this year?
yeah, that's what I said.
Did they really?
Fact check me on this. Somebody fact check me. Damn it. I don't know.
I believe you. But that's crazy. I don't know.
I got
Was this when Hurts? Was this when Hurts was hurt? Was Kenny Pickett playing?
It could have been. I don't know. I pulled this from Instagram, so
Oh, that's everything on Instagram's true.
take this for as you will.
Yeah.
So
I'm speaking it as if it's true.
not to tangent here for a second, but you and I have had the Kirk Cousins debate.
Yep.
Okay. Does Kirk get another starting job?
Yeah, I think he'll start a quarterback for somebody next year.
Absolutely.
gets
Who
it
else
again.
is out there? I think after his performance before we went into this season, I think all of us would have probably said Kirk was in the top half of quarterbacks in the league.
Sure.
Maybe right there in the middle.
Which is what you argue. You
Yeah,
said
yeah,
he's,
yeah.
You,
Not-
you
listen,
said
he's not Mahomes or anything
he's a
like
top
that.
half.
Let's be straight, but he's not.
yeah.
And I
he's
mean, the
not
real question.
Will Levis either.
No, and you could make the argument that Kirk was still hurt because he was slow. He wasn't getting the ball out. I mean, yes is the answer. I mean, I could see him on the Saints.
Is he now a Russell Wilson?
I think.
Granted, he doesn't have the success of Russ, but is he now like the
I think
old,
he's better than Russell Wilson at the moment,
Yeah.
as we stand here today.
You mean
So
more
you're gonna have-
marketable?
Huh?
You mean more marketable after he left the Broncos? Russell Wilson.
I didn't think he's a better football player at the moment.
Okay.
I think
All
you
right.
would. I personally think you would rather have Kirk Cousins as your quarterback going into next year than Russell Wilson. But you're gonna have the Steelers got a spot probably for a quarterback. The Jets got a
Because they're going to
spot for
drop
a
one.
quarterback.
They're going to drop
and,
one.
and you know there was a while there where Russ was playing pretty well, where you thought you had something cooking, but then it really,
Yeah, the wheels did come off on the end of that season. Yeah.
Bless you.
yeah. So it really came off in the last. I mean, what they lost the last
Five or
five in a
six,
row,
yeah.
right? And it was all legit teams. So clearly they had kind of built some hay by beating up on teams that weren't very good. But you got them open. The Jets are open.
So you're saying
there's no
that
quarterback for New Orleans really
Kirko-
at the moment.
Kirko to the Giants. You know, I don't.
Giants are looking for a quarterback. Maybe the Seahawks are looking for a quarterback. There's going to be a lot of spots for somebody like
So
now,
he-
this is all assuming that the
Penix-
Falcons cut him loose, all signs seem to be pointing that way.
So you're saying he's good enough to get another nod?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
still
yeah,
he's
yeah.
still good enough.
No.
All right.
If I was the Cleveland Browns, now that's a little unfair because they get a high pick, so they may just be going and drafting a quarterback
Sure.
and starting that. But if they don't, you know,
So you're saying
I
the
would-
Cowboys don't get Shador, they pick up the phone and call Kirk?
who the Cowboys?
Yeah.
No, I got
No,
Dak.
I don't think.
Is
I
he-
don't. I don't think the Cowboys are going to shoot.
Is he ready to go first of the season?
I don't know.
Yeah. I
Kirk
don't know.
Cousins?
Yeah. No, Dak.
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't know. I think the Raiders are getting Shador.
Okay.
We talked about that a second ago, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think they are.
Yeah.
I think the Cowboys are probably too far down. They'd have to trade up, and I don't.
Yeah, and since they hired Brian,
yeah, and they kind of
Shoemaker,
they nixed the
they mixed the
they
Dion
nixed the Dion
coaching,
deal, like
yeah.
which surprised me.
Me too. And I mean, the Raiders nixed it too. Now, I'd rather have Pete Carroll as my coach than Dion, but I kind of thought, I mean, it just seemed natural for them to get Shador and then pick up Dion as the coach.
It did to me.
Did you see where Marshawn showed up to the press conference for Pete?
Yeah, yelled Raiders from
Yeah,
out loud.
yeah,
Pete Carroll didn't know it was him until
He
after.
did not like it. He was like, "Oh, wait."
Not in the moment. He
No,
didn't.
he did not. He was not a happy
Did not
camper.
appreciate it.
Pete
Yeah.
Carroll took that job for one reason and one reason alone. He hates Jim Harbaugh.
Hates Jim Harbaugh. Hates Jim Harbaugh.
Spite move.
Yeah, spite move.
Okay.
They've had the USC Stanford connection, and then Seahawks 49ers, and that's when was it Seahawks Niners or was it at Stanford when you got the "What's your deal" quote? I think that's Stanford.
That
USC.
was Stanford. They both dealt with sanctions together.
Yeah.
So you're saying he went to the
Sorry.
Raiders just to piss in his sandbox?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, he took,
Well,
he didn't-
there's
he
probably a little bit of part of
he
that because
didn't
they
take
talked
that
about
job
it.
to win. He just took that job to beat Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, I think it's probably the best job he was going to get anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I think the other spots probably weren't thinking about it. I don't think that's a bad job. You just got to get. They need a quarterback. in
Maybe
a
he's just a
bad way.
gambler and he wanted to live in Vegas.
That's
yeah,
fair.
maybe he's a gambling guy.
What's he, 73?
73.
Doesn't look it though. Let's be
No,
honest.
that guy's still running sprints down the sideline better than I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. 73, got a 3-year deal and an option, team option, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
Wow.
All right,
We'll
let's talk
see.
Super Bowl.
Okay.
Super Bowl.
All right, Chiefs Eagles, like we said.
You're wearing the shirt.
I'm wearing the shirt. Tay-Tay's going to be in the crowd, I presume. Do you think there's ever an opportunity for Taylor Swift to play the Super Bowl halftime show and the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl?
I feel like this was the year to do it. Now, I can't wait for Kendrick to sing Not Like Us on national TV.
All right, so do you think he sings that? Or
Well, I don't know. I mean,
they've been pumping the beat to it in every commercial.
yeah, so that's what I was going to say. We watched the game together this weekend, and the Apple preview is that song with him. So if he doesn't, and I think I saw something on Twitter that said, he's got this lawsuit going on, this defamation lawsuit that Drake, I guess, yeah. And he said he doesn't care.
So you either throw the gauntlet down and you go hard in it and you hit that entire verse that buries Drake.
Yep.
Or you go, I don't want to say corporate because I don't think Kendrick Lamar's a guy that goes corporate, but he has a, like, come on, do us this one favor, and maybe hits pieces of the other verses that don't necessarily connect Drake straight to banging kids.
No.
This will be his second Super Bowl appearance.
What?
This will be his second.
Did he perform with Dr. Dre?
He did.
Yeah, he was in the LA one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you got to have.
And now he's the headliner.
Yep. Love the guy.
Should The Weeknd have gotten a halftime show before Kendrick Lamar?
As a solo act like that? No.
No,
It
right?
was so bad.
Yeah,
It was
no.
bad.
You
Remember
got to
he was
give.
standing there with his face covered and he was in the.
Well, he should cover his face. He looks like a clown.
Not a Weeknd fan. He's not.
This segment brought to you by Columbia Records and the new album by The Weeknd.
Love Kendrick.
Yeah.
I think he's
I'll be. It's a super interesting. Who was singing the national anthem? Does anybody know?
I don't know.
funny enough. My Super Bowl memory we're going to talk about later was Beyonce that did the anthem.
Wasn't Janet Jackson?
Yep. Same year. Yep.
Beyonce did the national anthem the year of the nip slip.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
So I missed the nip slip
I
because
didn't see it.
what? Okay, so we missed it for
Whoa.
two different reasons. Why did you miss it?
I just don't think I was watching it at the time. I was just like,
Because it was
talking.
it was the Panthers playing. Is that why you weren't watching?
Yeah,
it?
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
no, I was watching, the Super Bowl, but I just don't remember watching the halftime show for it.
So I missed it because I watched it at church with my youth group, and we cut the halftime off
Because
to have a devotional.
That's a
There's
great.
nothing, that's
That's a
very
good
nice.
blending of
Very
passions. Though I
nice.
like that.
I thought you were going to tell me that you were not watching the halftime show because they just wouldn't let you watch the halftime show.
Wow, that's also fair.
So
We're having this at a 2-minute delay.
Yeah.
So unfortunately for all Panthers fans or people that live in North and South Carolina, we all saw it. Most likely my age, I was sitting beside my parents.
Is
Yeah.
that unfortunate?
Sitting beside my parents or watching the Panthers play the Super Bowl or watching the clip.
Yeah, the clip.
That's tough.
Justin Timberlake?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know who headlined that show that year?
Nope. I didn't see it.
Jessica Simpson.
No kidding.
She was the Super Bowl lead.
She was the
She was
lead.
the halftime show, and
And then
The other
everybody
two were
else
just
was
ancillary.
You had Nelly. You had a bunch in there. Yeah. But
Jessica Simpson got a pull for a full halftime show.
the finale, of course, was the slip.
Oh, yeah, you had to do something to jazz that thing up.
So I think it's more likely that Taylor Swift gets engaged to Travis Kelce after this game
There you go.
than it is she performs a Super Bowl where the Chiefs are in it.
Do you?
I do.
Do you think if Travis Kelce goes for 2 catches for 8 yards and a critical fumble, that
This is only if they win.
Taylor checks out and says, "I'll see what Trey McBride's up to"?
I mean, maybe.
Is the engagement?
I tell you
off?
who she's not calling: Mark Andrews.
That's fair. Yeah, that's
Too soon. Too
so
soon.
he
Too
bombs.
soon.
Is the
Jeez.
engagement off?
Or does she just say, you know what, like
It doesn't matter.
There'll be a song about it.
Oh man, it's called The Drop or something like
Yeah.
that. Or
It'll be a Philly diss song or
Yeah,
something.
you
like
fumbled
that.
this like you fumbled the ball in 59.
Fumbled the ball and fumbled the bag. Oh man. So Super Bowl.
Okay.
Lines 1.5.
Yep.
Chiefs
Yep.
1.5.
Chiefs 1.5, which suggests even. Well, no, because
The money line's a whopping minus 125
Yeah,
is what I saw today.
So here's a
I
question.
like the money line bet versus the points in this game.
So you think a 1-pointer? It could come down to 1 point.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. I like the money.
That's
line.
right. That's why
Yeah,
you.
because you might as well just take the money line versus the point. Why give the point when there's not a
Sure.
huge difference in the juice? I guess is my point.
So my question for you, and this is directly to you because we both listen to the Ringer podcast, is this the tic-tac zone? Is this game going to flip?
No, I don't think it will.
See, I don't think it will either. Now, we've seen a lot of games flip.
Yeah,
It was. Yeah, I think the Ravens-Bills game flipped.
Raven-Bills game flipped because it started 1.5 for the Bills.
Yep.
Ended up being 1.5 for the Ravens. I don't know if the Bills-Chiefs did move much or anything like that. I feel like the Chiefs were about a 1.5, 2-point favorite or something.
It was 1.5. I think it was always 1.5. I don't think the line
there's
ever
just too
moved.
much conventional wisdom. Like we've seen this too much from the Chiefs.
Yeah.
That the general public dumps so much more money on the Eagles to win.
Yeah.
That it changes the actual line of the game.
Yeah. And now, if it does change and you can get the Chiefs at
Plus money,
plus
you take
or
them.
just plus points.
You take them.
Chiefs underdogs in the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's
I'm
an
taking
auto
that.
bet.
Auto.
And like
the house on it.
we reference our podcast, but like Cousin Sal likes to say, early betting is kind of professional bettors. The general public doesn't like to pour in their bets until closer to game time, like a couple days before. So if you're going to see an actual shift in who's the betting favorite in the game, I don't think you see it until a couple days before the game. Now, given how well the Eagles played last week and the points they scored, I don't know that it'll actually shift much. But had they played poorly and this opened at 1.5, I could see it moving to 2 or 2.5 or something like that.
Yeah,
if
I'm
people
with you.
were that much higher. But I think the way the Eagles looked against the Commanders, like Jalen Hurts, I didn't watch Eagles games.
They finally got their passing game going.
He
that
looked
was
really
the big
good
thing.
throwing the football.
And he learned
They don't
not
ever-
how to take a sack
Yeah.
in that game.
Yep.
You know, every other game I've watched him in big,
Big spots, just like
Look
hold
at what
on
the
to
look
he
at what
did-
the
he did
Rams
it-
did. to him.
making bad decisions, and he didn't do that.
He did it, and
Now-
I'm already forgetting. But who did they play the week before?
The Rams. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. They
Yeah,
he
the
took
whole-
so
he did-
many
yeah,
stupid
the whole game.
sacks
Yeah.
against the Rams.
And the three of us watched this game together, and clearly, either somebody said it or he just inherently was thinking about it or whatever. Did not take any of those risks. Moved himself out of the pocket and threw the thing
throw
rows
the
deep.
ball away. Yep, which has
Now-
been his problem his entire career.
The one thing that I think the Chiefs have going for them. So when they were playing the Bills the other day, I really felt like whoever had the ball with about 6 minutes left was going to win that game. And guess what? Patrick Mahomes had it. You knew they were going to score, and then they stopped the Bills. I don't think this is where. I don't think if Hurts has the ball with like 4 minutes left and they're down a touchdown, I'm not confident that they go down and score.
So he reverts back. He's going to pull some of the same stuff he's done before.
I think that is strictly dependent on the amount of time left in the game. And the reason I say that is because the thing that the Eagles have that they haven't had is Saquon Barkley. They've had good running backs, Swift and some other guys during these runs when they've made it to the Super Bowl. Saquon Barkley is a man on a mission. He is a guy looking to bury the general manager of the New York Giants
we
for
were
letting him
gonna
go.
bring that
We've
up.
all seen the
Yep.
clips and everything like that. He is out to make a point.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like you've caught him on hot mics talking to Sirianni, like, hey, if you want to stay in, this will be your career high. Nope, not worried about it. Let's go on to the next one and everything like that. The dude is locked in. The Eagles don't win if he does not have a legit game. Like he's
100
like
yards,
100
plus.
yards. Yep.
Oh, it's 100 plus. His over under
Was it like
we saw
one-
that it's like 115 or something
Yeah.
like that. Like
Well, I mean,
That's
against the
an
Commanders,
incredible-
it was 130, and he hit it, obviously.
I almost hit it in the damn first series of the game.
Sorry.
Sorry, my bad. My bad. We got to touch on it. I mean, you got to recap a little bit.
Yeah.
I just don't see. I agree with you in that sense, but the Chiefs are doing something that is great, but also annoys us. Like just like you haven't seen this Chiefs team all year. Granted, they only lost 2 games, and they lost the last one because nobody played. They looked as good as they've looked. That's the first time they scored over 30 this year. Was the last game. Like they just when it's time. What's the
They show up.
The stars shine bright. That kind of thing. Like
Easy now.
It's got to get dark before the stars come out.
That's
baby.
exactly
there
right.
it is. That's exactly right. Pressure makes diamonds. Like
I like that too.
Like
I like that.
when it needs to be done. Like if the Eagles are up by 4 and there's a minute and a half to go and they just went up and they kicked the ball to the Kansas City Chiefs, you can turn your television off and I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
Well, I
9
tell you-
times out of 10, he's leading that team on a winning drive.
That is
99 out of 100.
That is 10 times out of 10.
Yeah, I tell you this right now: if they're down by 4 with 3 minutes left, and the Chiefs are now anywhere close to plus odds live betting the money line,
You take that bet.
I'm betting the Chiefs.
The funny thing is, I guarantee if that's happening, you look at it,
It's
they won't.
it's still.
They
yeah,
won't.
I agree.
Minus, yeah.
They won't be.
I
yeah.
agree. I agree.
All right. I've tasked you guys with some notes.
Yeah.
So I've asked for a few things. We'll save our actual picks of the game for our last picks, but a couple of things I wanted out of you. So I want 2 prop bets out of you guys, okay? But one of them has to be over plus 400.
Gambling
Okay.
guy.
I'm gonna
You want to start this? You want to kick this off?
yeah, I'm gonna let G start, but just give me one. Give me your non.
The not crazy one.
You're not
Yeah.
super high
Okay.
odds prop. Give me your first one that you like.
So the total goes over.
Taking the over.
I'm taking the over.
49.5.
49.5. They put up 73 the first time. I think it was 38-35.
Yep.
Okay. They got great offenses. They're still going to do it. They're going to go over 49.5. I don't think defense is going to be a huge.
Do you think
Presence
the
in this game.
Eagles figure out how to contain the Chiefs a little bit and it goes under?
No. I think you're going to have the ball.
I just don't feel like that happens very often in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Now we've had some duds. Listen, nobody
what
wants
was that Rams Super Bowl,
Nobody
the
wants a repeat of the
15-12 Super
Rams
Bowl?
Pats. What is like fucking?
Terrible.
I don't know what it was, 10-4 or something
I
like
think
that.
it was 15-10.
15-10. There you go. That's
It's
terrible.
garbage.
Yeah, that was the Jared Goff Rams, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You've got too much offense in both of these teams, I think, to go under.
I do too.
I think so.
Now, part of that is I don't have a rooting interest in this football game. So if my team is not playing in any major sporting event, college football, national championship, NBA finals, World Series, whatever, I want to see a good game, and I want to see the biggest stars make the biggest plays. Like if we're watching the Lakers play somebody, I want LeBron to go off.
Okay.
Right? If we're watching the Yankees and whoever in the World Series, I want to see Judge hit home runs.
Okay.
So in this game, I want Barkley to go heavy. I want to see Mahomes and Kelsey do their thing. Like,
Which that speaks to my second bet.
So for that, I'm with you. I like the over. Now that's going to go to
Yeah.
part of my bet later, but yeah.
Yeah, me too. Barstool famously has the overs club. Betting unders is boring.
It's tough.
And especially
Because you're rooting against fun.
Yeah, you're rooting against fun. You can tell me it's a smart bet all you want. I'm still not going to take it because it's boring. And if my team's not in the Super Bowl, then I'm with you.
How
I
much
want
wine you drink?
a fun
No,
game.
I stole your wine. Sorry.
We're going to need a second bottle, bro.
Gambling guy, poor heavy guy.
I'm going
heavy pour.
Jeez, nuts.
You just
going
got
over,
Yep.
and I'm going with Kelsey to show up in this game like he has in pretty much every other Super Bowl he's played in. I mean, they've played in. This will be the.
So that's going to be that's
I think he.
that's interesting because it felt like they had like the car cover on him.
They did.
all year to keep
Yep,
protect him.
they did.
And then the last few weeks been awesome. Absolute non-factor this last game.
So he has gone over at least 80 in the last 3.
Super Bowls.
Yep.
Yeah.
So in this one, it's 60.5. I'm taking the over. He's going to get his yards. He's going to be that guy.
The way
He could ride off in the sunset after this one. We don't know. He's 35.
Oh yeah, this could very
This could
easily
be it. So
listen. He
Get engaged to T Swizzle.
It's
right
over
on the
game.
field.
Yeah.
You're marrying a
confetti
billionaire
falling
at
down.
this point.
Might as well.
Golly,
Go out on
What a
top.
guy.
just living the fucking dream.
You win
that
3 in
fucking
a
hair's terrible though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
You win
hair.
3 in a row. You get engaged to T Swift. It's over. You're done. Yeah, you're done.
So are you parlaying that with the over?
I'm taking that with the over.
So what are those
So
odds?
what's
That was at plus 210 on
so,
Fanatics.
so that's your first prop, right?
That's
there.
my first prop.
I like
Okay,
that.
I like that. Yeah, I don't mind that at
I
all.
like that.
All right, I need a little help here. Who's got their phone handy?
I put mine away like
gotcha.
a good podcast guy.
No, that's all right. Well,
I gotcha.
sometimes we need statistics. I need to know who's singing the national anthem.
All right. This is the time where we put in an
This is a
ad
good
sponsor.
podcast data.
Yeah, we're putting in an ad sponsor right here.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to go grab my phone.
While you're looking at that, my guy's going to take a tinkle.
He's what?
He's going to take a tinkle. He said,
Cheese Nuts needs to get his prostate checked.
Don't bump the camera, G's Nuts.
So
Insane.
Fun fact, I won't say who it is till he gets back.
Okay.
I don't know who this is.
You don't know who it is?
No.
Really?
Yeah, I know who the two people singing "America the Beautiful" is, but I don't know who this is.
Is this an old guy moment?
No, I'm very indie with my music, so I don't know a lot of the new names. So this very well may be some new up and comer, but I couldn't tell you who it is.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you want to look this person up to see who it is? Like, this is directly going to reflect my first prop bet.
Yep. While I'm looking this up, how is that piece unique?
So the piece unique's great. I am of the same thinking you are. This reminds me of an Opus 20. It's probably not as strong.
Yeah.
As an Opus 20.
Yep.
Which there's nothing wrong with it. The construction is great. Here
Holy
he comes. Look at his back. Look at this.
Hey, you made it.
You
All right.
You don't have to put any headphones on. You're fine.
Well,
All
note
right,
to self,
so-
do not drink a cup of coffee at 5 o'clock before the podcast.
So
It's a bad idea.
this is fascinating.
All right.
Okay. And I'm gonna say his last name wrong because I'm terrible with names.
Sure.
The person singing the national anthem's name is John Batiste.
Oh, John.
Oh, it's John Baptiste.
Batiste.
Baptiste.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that no, it's not Hamilton guy.
So he
Where's he
is.
from?
No, he's a
He's
He's
famous
he's a
in
pianist
the
and a
realm of jazz and roots music. But this is fascinating. He is the leader of the house band for the Late Night with Stephen Colbert.
yeah.
That is where he came from.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's the Roots from.
Yep.
He's the same as the Roots from Jimmy.
Yep.
He's the Roots equivalent for.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah. I was
then-
like, he's definitely not in the Roots.
No,
and
not
then
the
the
Roots, but-
that would be sick if John.
the
Baptiste
people
was in the
singing
Roots.
American the Beautiful is Lauren Daigle and Trombone Shorty.
That I
So
don't know. Is that like
Trombone Shorty did some songs with Zach Brown Band back in the day.
is that like Timmy Trumpet?
Sure.
So does this mean your pick is anthem based?
So my first pick,
Oh boy.
and this makes sense as to why the over under on the national anthem is set at 120.5 seconds.
Yeah, he's gonna be jazzing out.
He's gonna church it up a little bit. He's gonna be jazzing.
It gets a little rifty.
When I
It
went
gets
to
a little
look for
rifty
what,
even.
yeah,
Yeah.
what looking for the odds of it in what it was set up as in the past, it's been in about that minute 25 to a minute 30, maybe a minute 40 or something like that.
So he's going
they're,
low.
They're
Going low on him.
No, they're going
no, they're
high.
going high.
You
So
said
They're going
100.
2 minutes and 5 seconds.
yeah,
No, they're
well,
not
right
gonna-
at 2 minutes. Right.
Yeah. So
They're thinking longer for him.
okay. All right.
Yeah, not 140 seconds.
Oh,
but
you
a
said
minute
140.
A minute 40. So
okay.
they're thinking a full
All right.
2 minutes for John Baptiste.
Oh.
So now knowing that, and I should have, I don't know why I didn't, I'm obviously my notes didn't look that up. I'm taking the under on the national anthem
Okay.
as my first prop bet. I've hit this as an over like the last 3 Super Bowls. So I'm going against, and again, I'm not rooting against fun here.
You're going against yourself.
Yeah, well, I feel like this is kind of an Oscars, like, wrap it up, B. Like, we can't have this thing going 210 here. Like,
Is this 3?
you really listen? You're really gonna have to. I'm not gonna make you sing the national anthem right now and time you, but you're gonna have to really church it up to get to
so
2 minutes.
long-winded to get to 2 minutes?
Yeah.
So what you're saying is there's been 3 reds in a row, and you're going black.
I'm going black.
Okay.
That's,
So you're
that's right.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So you're playing the
I'm
odds.
Somebody
assuming
knows how I play roulette.
okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. Sure.
I'm assuming the odds on this are minus 110.
Yeah, it's a straight even money.
Straight
bet,
even
basically.
money.
Just
Even
the
money.
juice. Just
All
the
right.
juice.
So, question for you. Before.
And you'll recognize if you if you image search John Baptiste, you will recognize
Yeah.
who that is. I think.
He and
Tan-
Colbert have quite the.
Yeah.
They have quite the chemistry going.
Rapport.
Yeah. The rapport, if you may.
I
tangential
will.
question.
Yeah.
What kind of question?
Yeah, it's like the rapport we have on this podcast.
That's right.
Yeah, I like that.
You could be Colbert though.
Yeah, that's fine.
You know, it's actually Colbert.
That's not true.
Yeah, 100% from South Carolina.
You just got G's nuts.
Cheese nuts. Cheese nuts. You got to get the sound guy to play that in there.
That's right. You already watch your own sound? God dang, man.
Best national anthem all time.
Whitney.
So,
Whitney.
Oh, 100%.
Okay, I
so-
disagree.
So it's
Oh.
between 2.
You got to say one is Whitney.
One is Whitney,
One is Whitney. Okay.
and the other Stapleton.
Damn straight.
100.
They
Actually, yeah, that's
are-
pretty good. Yeah.
So Stapleton was
He went
That was
under?
just
that was no, it was the
2 years
last.
ago?
Yeah, it was the last Eagles Chiefs ones because that's the one where Sirianni's balling.
So he
Tears are
went.
just flowing.
He went under. Like
No, he went over.
Okay,
So I've gone over on the last few.
You said you went 3 overs in a row.
And don't fact check me on this, but
Okay.
I'm fairly confident I went 3 overs and they've hit. I'm going under on this. 2 minutes is a long time. I don't know who I would choose between Whitney and Stapleton. I like the Stapleton version more.
Yeah.
You know what's a low-key one? And I can't remember what year it's from. Ted Nugent did the national anthem just on the guitar.
Okay.
And it was spectacular.
I like Ted Nugent.
So you are...
I'm a Stapleton guy.
Yeah,
that's-
you look like
that's-
he's music and Joe.
That's fair.
There was just something about the gravitas that was the Whitney one. Like she's like hitting it hard, like the planes are flying over and everything like that.
You know what we can all agree on? They're all American as hell. And that's what the
100%.
Super Bowl's about. It's about
Yes.
America.
Americana.
It's the world
Americana.
champions of football, which is in America.
America.
Football is America. Okay, buddy. That's just a
Well,
fact.
made in America now. We don't always play in America now, but that's okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna go on the under. I don't know if I'm gonna bet the house on it, but I'm taking the under on that.
Don't fact
And
check me on
hold, and
this.
hold everybody to these bets if you're listening.
Yeah.
What
and make
was
sure
the
they understand.
first international football game? Where was the first international NFL game played? Don't fact check me. This was a trivia question I had a couple of weeks ago, but I think it's right.
I'm gonna say Mexico City.
It was Mexico City. That was the first international football game.
Feels like Niners, Cowboys, Mexico City. I think, and that was maybe the year or so before they started doing the London games.
It was a while actually. I think it was like a like at least 10+ years ago.
Yeah.
Like it was
Yeah.
kind of an outlier. They
Yeah,
tried
if the
it.
Super Bowl's ever in London, I'll boycott.
We're not
The
watching.
Super Bowl will never be in London. Oh, God, I say that now. The Super Bowl, that's the 26 Super Bowls in London, England.
Boycott.
You'll boycott?
Okay,
Super
so far we've got I've got a 2-legger.
Yep.
You got.
Bowl? I'm just
We're
going
going
straight,
straight back.
under,
On straight.
under on the
We're
national
not
anthem.
we're not giving our winner pick
Not-
yet.
No,
Not
no,
to the end.
Okay,
No,
all right.
We got plenty of things to cover for that.
So this is on FanDuel. I'm a big fan of the game specials on FanDuel. Okay. And I saw one today that I really like, and I think both of y'all are going to like it. It really goes with your over. And the first prop I'm taking is 1 touchdown to be scored in each quarter of the game.
Sure.
So that is not by not 1 touchdown apiece. It's just one
one
touchdown,
touchdown.
one total touchdown per quarter.
Not
What do you-
rushing,
what
not
do you
pass,
mean on that?
not passing
You
necessarily.
get that at plus odds at plus 115.
Okay. Don't hate it.
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
I think your biggest concern is the first quarter, right?
yeah, you know,
the
nerves,
the
nerves
first quarter
trying to figure it
starts
out.
slow, and it's like a
Yep.
6-3, 3-3 kind of
Yeah, that
first quarter.
Because the floodgates open after that.
Yeah,
The floodgates open.
Yeah, you get in the
know.
rhythm. Second quarter,
I'm-
somebody gets one coming out early, always in the third, and then you would expect something late in the fourth.
so I'm going Saquon game, and I'm going to say Saquon breaks one in the first quarter to get that first quarter touchdown, and then after that, it's on.
And I do think if he's going to break one, it's going to be early.
Yep.
Maybe not as early as the first play from scrimmage, but if you're going to – I feel like that Chiefs defense is okay, but it kind of goes against, I think, conventional wisdom a little bit, which is Chris Jones seems to get better as the game goes on. Like he wreaked the most havoc on Josh Allen late in that game. So I think if you're going to get a chance to break one, it's going to be early when they're kind of feeling it out.
Well, and
stuff like that.
Spagnuolo seems to get better as the game goes on too. Dialed up that defense in the fourth quarter against Josh Allen in that last game. So that's what I'm going with. I really liked it. I like the plus odds on it.
Does Saquon get 2 touchdowns with 2 touches?
Hey, you're a Commanders fan.
Hey,
Why are you
hey,
bringing it up?
It's
Are you a Commanders fan?
100%.
Oh, I didn't know that. I
Yeah.
thought you were just.
Oh,
supporting
no, that
the
was
guy.
God, you're a good friend, but if you bought a jersey to support me, I'd tell you that that's a little weird.
That's crazy. Yeah,
Wow.
don't go out and spend that money on a jersey if you're not a true fan.
Why are you gay?
You are gay.
So growing up before we had the Panthers, you had the Falcons or the Redskins.
So I think, yeah,
That's all you
anybody
had
who's
here.
probably listening to this is not something I grew up with, but you guys specifically, all your sports teams are like that.
That's why I'm a Cubs
Ethan's
fan.
young enough
Yeah.
where like the Hornets were around already, and the Panthers.
90
I mean,
4?
94, 95, I
Yeah.
think was their first season,
Yeah.
right? Or
Yeah.
93, 94. So you're just born. So you're probably not into the Panthers yet. Is your dad a
Yes.
Commanders?
So that's all my sports teams are inherited
Yeah.
from my dad.
And he
was a
had
Commander-
to pick.
It was Commanders
Yeah.
or Redskins or Falcons, and then the reason I'm a Cubs fan is because it was either the Cubs or the Reds, because the Cubs had WGN and
Yeah.
then the Reds had something else, and the
Yeah.
only channel my dad got growing up was WGN.
Yeah, the
So
Braves
he watched
didn't-
the Cubs.
The Braves didn't
Yeah,
come
'cause the
along
Braves
until
weren't
a
It's
lot
on
later.
TNT till later on. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a very common occurrence
Yep.
to have So for me, it's not. I'm a fan of all things Detroit, all things the state of Michigan, basically, because that's where I grew up, and that's my teams.
Yeah, how are the Red Wings doing this year?
They're on the bounce back.
Okay. All right, just checking.
They're not the Red Wings of the 90s. I get it.
It's like
I
the
get it.
Tigers. You know, the bad
Tigers-
first half of the season.
Tigers about to get Max Bregman.
We got to
Or Alex
get
Bregman.
we got to get Torkelson back.
He get traded to the Mets.
Did he really?
He's going to, yeah. It's looking like it.
You gonna get Pete Alonso in that?
No, we don't want Pete Alonso, bro.
I just have a
we
really
could take Bregman.
sick
We'll get Bregman.
Torkelson autograph sports card that I need him to come back and.
Going down fast.
I know.
Myself,
I should have
buddy.
sold high.
I got a couple myself.
Sell
now.
high. I'll sell it to you if he sticks around.
If he sticks
Yeah,
around,
I'll
then
sell it to
man,
you,
I
yeah.
will. Yeah.
Detroit's been around for a long time, all their sports teams. But as a sports fan in North Carolina, I grew up. My dad, he's a little older. He's 73, so Tar Heels all day, every day.
So that's the thing with the state of North Carolina.
Yep.
Is everybody's ingrained
College
collegiately and specifically college basketball.
Yep.
The Duke, Wake, Carolina State.
Yep. And then we had I'm a huge Braves fan.
Right, which is pretty common, right? You have a lot. He's a bit of an outlier rooting for the Cubs. So a lot of people are either Braves or Orioles.
Correct. And the Braves were on the radio before they were on TV. So my dad, growing up, older guy, radio, access, listen to baseball on the radio. He tells stories about when he was at Western Carolina in the late 60s where they had to run an antenna to the dean's house to watch the Carolina basketball game.
That's cool.
So we were really limited on our fandom with
But
who
no
we could
real-
choose. Yeah.
No real NBA allegiance because of the college basketball, right? I mean, people
you
are
couldn't.
fans, but because of the college basketball ingrained in everybody, that's where it seems to be.
It was tough to get behind the Hornets. I mean, Space Jam was a Hollywood success, but you couldn't get behind the Hornets back
The funny
then.
thing is, the Hornets, when they came out, and we're getting off track again, but were super popular everywhere else.
Yeah, because
Everybody loved the colors,
a
the
new brand, a new
uniforms.
name.
Even,
Yeah.
when I'm
Muggsy Bogues was in Space Jam. I mean,
you had Alonzo.
I got a Muggsy Bogues autograph.
there you go, right there.
Yeah,
I mean, if you lived in North Carolina, you were a Muggsy Bogues fan. I mean,
Well, plus he went to Wake, right?
yeah.
So you kind of double dipping.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go snake draft. So you're gonna I'm gonna get your
Oh,
high.
you're going first this time.
This is
high value.
my high prop.
But I'm gonna shift a little bit. I'm gonna ask a question to you because this is up your wheelhouse. Do you prefer Kansas City barbecue or Philly cheesesteak better? This is
I have an immediate answer to this.
this is because of the Carolina thing.
I'm gonna
it's-
guess. I
No, he's going cheesesteak.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because
I don't like. Listen, Kansas City barbecue sauce is fine, but good barbecue don't need thick sauce.
There you go. All right.
Good barbecue needs just
Well,
a little bit
barbecue-
of vinegar sauce and bada bing, bada boom. Like,
So-
we're talking pulled pork here.
yeah, we're
Chopped. Are we chopping it?
Yeah, of course. I don't.
Okay.
I
Well,
don't-
it's
yeah.
really, it's really. But as a kid from Michigan who didn't get into barbecue till he
Did you
moved
know
here-
barbecue up there?
No,
Okay.
I mean just what barbecue is just
You
go
had
out to the
ribs,
grill.
right? That was like ribs. That was about it.
Burgers, barbecue, you
Yeah.
just barbecue in it, man. You're around the barbecue. Barbecue is pork.
And that's what you grew up with.
No, I'm just saying that's what barbecue is.
No, I agree with you
Yeah.
because
Like
Yeah.
you make brisket, and I like brisket other things, but when I think barbecue is pork.
yeah, I mean, I feel like there's two types of barbecue. If we're gonna, get like dissect this a little bit.
Yeah.
Like-
There's a
like
there's
OG, the
there's
OG
a whole
barbecue.
episode
There's-
we're gonna do in the spring when we
yeah,
got a little
there's-
surprise for everybody
yeah.
later.
There's Eastern style barbecue pulled pork, which is the best, and then Texas style barbecue, which is all beef.
Yep.
And it's saucy.
The two can intermingle because they're two different things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I want brisket, I want Texas style brisket, but if I want barbecue, it's pulled pork barbecue. Kansas City barbecue. If you got to sauce heavily your barbecue,
It's not good.
you suck at making barbecue.
And you should know because
That's how you save it. That's how you
you
save
know
it.
you're kind of an expert over there. I can
That's
I can
why I asked
personally
it first.
attest to this man's cooking skills.
So, I've never had a Philly cheesesteak. I've had plenty of cheesesteaks. I've
You-
never been to Philadelphia. I told you this the other day. So I've
Yeah,
never
yeah,
had
right.
a true. What are the places? Pat's, right? That's one of them. Is it Geno's? Is the other one? Is it Pat's and
I
Geno's?
think so. I think you're right.
I mean, you could probably get decently close if you just flew through Philly one time and said, "Give me a cheesesteak." They'd
Yeah,
hook
probably.
you up. Yeah.
I think if Philly cheesesteaks are as good as people portray Philly cheesesteaks to be, that I would prefer a Philly cheesesteak over.
and you
Kansas
want
City
the
barbecue.
authentic, no
So,
changes. You want it.
Well,
I
if
think
we're
the big
gonna-
thing with the chili Philly cheesesteak is the cheese. I think that's the
It's the
big
whiz, right?
Yeah, is do you go whiz or do you go actual cheese? I think that's like the big debate with Philly cheesesteaks. Like
Yeah.
what's original, what's authentic.
Yeah,
And I'm with you.
Philly folks get at us on the gram or something.
Yeah,
like that,
maybe
so.
we should ask Cole. That's a question
Yeah,
for Cole.
yeah, that is a question for
That's
Cole.
a question for Cole.
Somebody
His-
call Cole.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
I can't call an Eagles fan right now. I can't do it.
That's
yeah,
fair.
yeah.
It's too soon.
That's fair. But I mean, just a mediocre cheesesteak is better than the best Kansas City barbecue. That's where I'm at with that.
Yeah, I would agree. Where would you fall?
I'm a barbecue guy all day, every day.
Just all day Like I would take Carolina barbecue over a cheesesteak.
Yeah, I would
all
too.
day, every day.
Yeah, I would rather take a pulled pork sandwich with good coleslaw and good sauce
No
over.
slaw.
You're not a vegetable guy. You're like Al Michaels.
Yeah,
Steak,
give me
yeah.
the- stick to the meats, baby.
potatoes.
Yeah, nah, but yeah.
All right, let me hear the big one.
All right.
The
so-
high, the high,
The lofty
high-
pick here.
Your loftiest pick.
Yeah.
The only
All right.
rule is it had to be plus 400 or
400.
higher.
So I stuck with the Fanatics game specials with this because you can get some crazy odds. And the one that I was looking for,
But you're capped on those, right?
no,
There's no max?
there's no max.
Oh, you
There's
can
no
go
max
all
bet.
out.
You can,
All
you
right,
can put
big time.
$1 billion
Okay.
on it.
All right.
$1 billion.
Sure.
I'm not sure they would take $1 billion.
No,
I'm
they
not gonna lie
probably
to you.
wouldn't. But what I was looking for is something that I hit on one time this year, which was a running touchdown and a passing touchdown to be scored by both teams.
In
But
each half?
No, just in general.
In general.
In
Okay.
general. I hit
All
that
right.
earlier this year at like plus 500. I don't remember what the game was, but that wasn't out. So I found one that I did like, and it's Kareem Hunt, Saquon Barkley, and Travis Kelce to combine for 4+ touchdowns.
Say it again.
So it's Kareem Hunt, Saquon Barkley, and Travis Kelce to combine
4 total touchdowns.
for 4 total touchdowns.
So Pacheco's
So
taking
you
a back
like
seat.
the over as well, obviously.
Yes,
if you like this bet, you like the
I
over.
like the
yeah.
over. I
So
like the
so
over.
Pacheco's taking a back seat.
Well, Kareem Hunt's been the guy.
He has been the guy at the goal line.
He has been the guy.
Yeah.
I'm thinking Saquon gets 2, Hunt gets 1, Kelce gets 1. That's how I approach this.
All right.
And I got it at plus 650.
Plus 650.
Wow, I would actually have guessed that was
More.
was
Actually
higher.
More. Yeah.
That's
So
a
they
lot
did-
of touchdowns.
So they did have one.
but
that
it's actually probably the Saquon.
It's the Saquon
2+
thing.
weighing it down a little bit because that's probably just alone is probably only plus 300 or something like that.
So the
And that's-
reason I
and
went.
that's crazy in itself.
Yeah.
If he hadn't had a game last weekend that he did, that's not. Those odds aren't there.
So there was
Yeah.
another one on there that I went back and forth on, and this is going to give my pick a little bit. But it was A.J. Brown, Saquon Barkley, and Travis Kelce to get 4+ touchdowns. And I didn't go with that because we're talking basically 3 touchdowns from the Eagles between 2 players, and the Eagles have not
And that would
had
have been
a
lesser
pass-
odds, I would assume.
No,
right?
it's plus 1,100.
It's got to be. It's got to be
Plus
higher
1,100.
because
That was
that's
plus 1100
It's plus 1,100.
because they're leaning,
because you're looking at 3 from one team.
and
yeah,
they're
yeah,
leaning, they're leaning Chiefs.
basically.
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's fair.
Now you throw a Goddard touchdown in there before.
Oh, now we're just getting exotic.
I mean,
Well, like I said, I like
he shows
this.
up.
I like this though because, yeah, the odds probably could be a little bit higher, but I could also see Travis Kelce getting 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Kareem Hunt's been the guy. Saquon I could see getting 2. This was a bet that I thought would legitimately possibly hit.
Oh, I could
At-
easily
at
you could
plus
easily
odds.
see Travis Kelce with this kind of rando 6 catches for
120 and 2 touchdowns.
No, I could see it being like 6 catches for like
33 yards. and 2
55
touchdowns.
yards.
Oh, so
but he's grabbing 2 like inside
Gotcha.
the 10-yard line.
Yeah,
So
You know
not
what I mean?
yardage, but he's
They-
the
yeah,
guy
yeah,
at the
yeah,
goal line.
yeah.
Because
Okay.
here's the thing, right? Like, obviously Xavier Worthy was the guy last week, but there's always a guy with the Chiefs. And if there's going to be a guy, I agree with you that this week it's going to be Travis Kelce because
It's storybook. It's storybook
it
stuff,
just,
man.
It feels
That's what that is.
right, and you know how
If
it
this is
man.
his last year, let's
he's
say
going to go out on top, and
he's-
he's going
they're
to go
gonna
out with a
throw him-
bang.
They're going to feed him the whole game. He's going to get his.
yeah.
Give me your saying again.
What's
About
that?
The lights.
Who?
What's
Well,
the lights?
It's got what?
The lights. What's your saying again?
It's got to get dark before you can see the stars.
Yeah.
Perfect. There you go.
So here's the other reason I went this though. Look at what Zach Ertz did against the Eagles last week.
Yeah.
Ertz 8.
Ertz had 11 catches, I think, for
130.
So
plus
that's
one-
why I do like Kelce too, because I
Yep.
feel like the way the Eagles play defense is that front 4 get at you, and that leaves that kind of short intermediate
Yep.
pass a little bit more open. and Ertz was just able to sit softly in there. They've got good outside corners and everything like that, but in that kind of mid zone. So I agree with you that I think Kelsey's going to get a run.
So that's why I went with that. Listen, Zach Ertz is great. He is not Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce is a Hall of Famer. He's one of the best to ever do it. The connection him and Patrick Mahomes has is unbelievable. Yeah. And obviously Saquon's great. You throw one Kareem Hunt in there just because they get on the goal line, and bada bing, bada boom, now we're talking. So that's what I went with.
So I'm gonna have a single player for a touchdown, but I went a little bit kind of like you did with the Kareem Hunt thing, which is I feel, fact check me, I feel like there's in a lot of cases this kind of random guy that pops in one touchdown. Right?
Okay.
The Desmond Howard touchdown of the year, stuff like that. You get kind of this kind of one-time guy. You're like, oh, I haven't seen much of him. They're involved, but they kind of pop in a touchdown.
Well, to speak to that, if you're planning this game, if your strategy is correct, if you're going into this game with a good defensive strategy, you're locking the guys down. You're locking the big names down, which is why you
see
take
Kareem Hunt on there or something like that.
Which is why you steered away from the AJ Brown, because you're thinking, okay, they should have a plan for AJ Brown. Yeah, so you're going to go
and to the fact that I like the over, which I think there's going to be some points scored. So I've got anytime touchdown, and I almost went with Pat Mahomes anytime touchdown. Pat Mahomes anytime touchdown was plus 450.
He had 2 last week.
I got you. Hey, I got you covered.
Okay,
go ahead.
There we go.
Yeah,
but
you're good.
Will Shipley anytime touchdown plus 1100.
Just one
anytime touchdown for Will Shipley. Shipley got some run last week. He shows he can break it a little bit.
Sure.
Now, granted, he was getting that run when they were blowing the Commanders out, but he was involved early. I believe he returns kicks and stuff like that. I could get one there if maybe you break a little kickoff or something like that.
Yeah, he had the longest touchdown of the weekend last weekend by about 5. You missed about 5 yards, ran out of gas.
Yeah, he ran out of gas a little bit late. That concerns you, but I like Will Shipley. Now, the problem with Shipley, with anybody, if you're talking anytime touchdowns, running backs
touches
on the Eagles. Touches, obviously. Yeah. But if it's inside the 5.
They'll just give it to Jalen.
That's a tush push.
Hey, Chiefs just kind of have to pull a Frankie Louvu, baby, and
just
start
jump it
the line.
3 times, man.
Keep going, man. Keep going.
Let
him award the touchdown. Let him be the D-bags to award a touchdown.
That like the guy that jumped the judge in court that day. That was Frankie Louvu.
I almost said it to you. Everybody had that as a meme. Frankie Louvu right now is the guy jumping over the
I would want to be the first guy in a championship game to get called for points for another team.
Yeah.
If I was him, do it again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, they're going to get it.
There's plenty of people said just do it until
do it
until they give you the touchdown.
Yeah.
They're either going to get it or you're going to just one time it perfectly
and get that fumble.
And you're going to be a legend.
You're going to get that fumble. Yeah.
All right, what you got for your big one?
All right, so I took the Mahomes.
Okay.
I took the Mahomes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead.
I was surprised to see it over
it's
with
big.
that high.
Yeah, it was high.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and play it off a little bit like last weekend. Hurts had 2.
Yeah.
Mahomes had 2.
Mm-hmm.
They each get 1. That is plus 840.
Ooh,
so 1 Hurts touchdown, 1 tush push, and 1 Patrick Mahomes scramble touchdown is plus 840.
Battle the quarterbacks,
and
baby.
listen,
we
obviously can see the tush push, no problem.
Yeah. That's easy.
I could see it in my head right now. A little roll out to the right for Pat Mahomes. Nothing's open. He does the run and he
does the fake. He does the fake a little bit,
and he just reaches out over the goal as he's running by. I like that. Plus what now?
Plus 840.
Ooh, I like that.
I do too.
I like that
because I think in big games, they go to his legs. He runs the ball. He gets 1 in. He does. I think so. I mean, you saw it against the Bills last weekend. He did it. Yeah.
No, I like
do it
that.
again.
Yeah, I like that.
Plus 840.
And again, all these bets suggest we all love the over. We like points scored.
I think you got points scored. I mean, don't get me wrong.
We're all going to be devastated if this thing is 14-9.
That would be a bad Super Bowl.
That's a bad day for America.
Yeah, that's the last time that the Chiefs. That's the last time
just an absolute patriot.
That's the last time the Chiefs lost. 31-9. 30. What was that? Buccaneers Chiefs.
Yeah, got killed by the Bucs.
Yeah, 30.
So it's interesting you bring that up.
That's the thing. TB Tom Brady's got over. Obviously the Super Bowls, but the head to heads as well.
So it's interesting you bring that up because I do think, and we'll talk picks in a minute, but if the Chiefs are going to lose, I don't think the Chiefs just lose. I think they get absolutely eviscerated.
Yeah, it's not a close game.
I don't see. I'm with you. I don't see a situation where the Chiefs lose a nail biter.
Not if he's got a chance to win the game. To your point, if there's 3 minutes left and he's got the ball, you can cut it off. There's no more good commercials left. Cut the game off. You're done. It's over.
Yeah.
He's
Unless it just ends up with one of those, whoever has the ball last wins, and it just so happens that the way it turns out is that the
Eagles milk the clock out, and that's it.
Now the
and
good
it
thing,
literally, like last week we talked about this, it didn't quite work out that way. But as stupid as it sounds, it really, like, when you have two good teams, it could come down to this coin toss. Because whoever defers and gets that ball in the second half,
Sure.
we see it a lot of times where the Chiefs had that opportunity to score.
At the end of the first half.
Excuse me, the Eagles had that chance to score at the end of the second half.
And get the ball back.
And then the first half and get the ball right back, and you put that touchdown in, you really can put a game away in a hurry like that.
it's what they were talking about on the Ringers, the middle eight.
The middle eight.
It's what
that's
Lombardi
right.
used to talk about. Last 4 minutes of the first half, first 4 minutes of the second half. Like, that can make or break a game very quick. And that is legitimately what happened to the Commanders. I mean, Eagles deferred. They got the ball back. They scored, and it was an uphill battle after that for the Commanders. I mean, it's ugly.
You brought up the Bucks beating the Chiefs in that kind of dud Super Bowl. And then we talked about the Rams and that Patriots dud Super Bowl. Tom Brady seems to be – well, that's not fair because he was part of some legendary field goal coming down to ones too, stuff like that. What's your favorite Super Bowl? Or Super Bowl memory or whatever it may be. What's your favorite one that you've watched?
So, nip slip, no, we're going to leave that out.
Yeah. So
Super Bowl
ancillary stuff.
Super Bowl 38.
You're gonna have to remind me.
Patriots.
Panthers, Pats.
Yep.
That's Vinatieri making the field goal at the end, right?
That was 36-33 final.
32-29.
32-29.
Yeah, 32-29. Yep.
And awesome game. Panthers shouldn't have been there necessarily.
Jake Delhomme, baby.
Jake Delhomme.
Bojangles.
This was not the season they went with Newton 15-1.
They went 15-1 in the Cam Super Bowl. And then
Yeah. So this was not. They weren't.
They didn't get
dud
routed
of
in
a
that
Super
Super Bowl,
Bowl.
but that was a dud Super Bowl. That was the strip sack and the whole. That kind of started Cam down the road.
Yeah.
Of how his career kind of finished out.
So this was my that was my Super Bowl pick. As a Panthers guy, you live in North Carolina. If you're not a Redskins Commanders fan, you're going to default back to your home team. So
Yep.
Panthers Patriots by 7. That was the line back then.
Okay.
Yep, they were a 7-point favorite. So there's some quick stats that I happened to look up. Because you so quickly forget the game and remember just the halftime show. That's what happens.
Yeah.
You forget the game,
yeah,
but remember the halftime show. Carolina, -9 net yards on their first 20 snaps.
Good Lord.
And had a chance to win that game.
Obviously picked it up. I mean, I remember watching the Super Bowl. I don't remember. Did Steve Smith have a game after that, though?
It was more Muhammad.
It was Muhammad. Okay.
Yeah, it was
so I was going to
Muhammad.
say somebody had a receiving game in that game because they started lighting it up late.
But the fact that you're pitting Jake Delhomme against Tom Brady, and they had a chance to win that game in the fourth quarter. I mean, it came down to
What year is that?
2003. What are we on this year? This is 59.
Is that Brady's first Super Bowl?
He had to have one before that, right?
I'm just trying to think of the one where he comes in and they win the Super Bowl in his first year starting. When he replaces Bledsoe.
Right.
Did they beat the Panthers that year? Or
was that the first year?
Or was that 2 years later when they got the second one?
I don't think it was Brady's first Super Bowl.
Okay. Yeah,
I feel like that would have been.
Yeah.
So -9 yards first 20 snaps.
Not the way you want to start a game.
And it was the longest at the time, having looked back and read about the game a little bit more. It was the longest scoreless intro or beginning to a Super Bowl of all time. They went like 24, 25 minutes without any points scored in that game. And then the floodgates opened.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Carolina -9, first 20 snaps. Patriots thought they were going to get cute, squib kick it at the end of the first half. Panthers marched down the field, cut it to 14-10. So at halftime, it's 14-10 Patriots. Scoreless third quarter. and then it just
Yeah, obviously
it
something
opened up.
Yeah, opened up.
It
and
opened up.
yeah.
So 14-10, basically going into the fourth quarter. Brady throws a pick. The next play, DeLome goes for 85 yards for a touchdown to Muhsin Muhammad. Panthers failed on two-point conversions. And if we think about the final score in that game, 32-29,
Yeah.
there you go. The Patriots then turned around and succeeded on their first 2-point conversion of the entire season. So that really chaps. They only won one the whole year. It's in the Super Bowl. They get it. And then John Casey, who was our guy, if you're a Panthers fan,
Kicks it out of bounds.
he kicks it out of bounds. You think you're going to overtime? You think
One
it's
of the absolute worst plays in Super Bowl history.
of all, because this was potentially going to be the first Super Bowl.
Because the Pats don't have to move it, but 30
30
yards,
yards? Yeah.
to get into that field goal territory.
So this was going to be potentially the first Super Bowl at that time to ever go into overtime. And it's a minute or so left on the clock. He kicks it out of bounds. And Brady does Brady. They get it down. 41-yard field goal. And Vinatieri had already missed one in the game, had one blocked in the game. So this was absolutely redemption for him. A Hall of Fame kicker, missed one, blocked one. Obviously won the game. 32-29.
That's crazy.
Jake Delhomme came that close to beating Tom Brady.
And then a couple of years later, he throws 7 picks in a game, and it's all
That was
over
pretty
for
much
him.
that, yeah.
But he got a lot of Cajun filet biscuits.
Yes, he
out of
did.
it.
My guy got so much Bojangles.
He never paid for Bojangles the rest of his life.
Till Dale Earnhardt Jr. came along
and
and he
he's-
took that from him.
Yeah,
He's
Mo
now,
Biscuits, man.
he's now, he's on the radio for them, right?
I have no
I think
idea.
Delhomme is
Yeah,
now
I
one of
believe
their,
so. Yeah.
one of their.
No, I did not do any of that research. That
Oh, I didn't either.
And you
yeah,
did not.
so I'm just gonna tell you.
That was great,
I'm gonna
by
tell
the
you.
way.
You did not pick the Panthers Patriots as the best quarterback memory or
No.
the Super Bowl memory. Yeah.
So obviously, no Lions Super Bowl memories. We can go back to like the 1956 NFL Championship or whatever it was. My favorite, the last two have been really good to watch.
Yeah.
Last year's against the Niners was an excellent Super Bowl. That was overtime, correct? Because the Chiefs were like the clock was running down and everybody was like freaking out, like you don't have any time, not remembering that the rule was they have as much time as they want.
in a Super
Just
Bowl.
to- yeah,
right.
in the
Yeah.
playoffs to
Yeah. There's
score.
no clock. Yeah.
The one before that with the Eagles was a really good Super Bowl. But probably my two favorites for different reasons: Rams, Titans.
You're talking about the
So the greatest show on turf.
the short.
The Titans reaching out for the line. Steve McNair, Kurt Warner on the Rams. That was the first Super Bowl I ever watched with Danielle, who's my now wife. We were dating at the time, so that was.
So that was a
special
big deal for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
special
Okay.
place. But I
all right.
watched it at her house with her dad.
Oh.
And then
And you were cheering for the Rams, and he was cheering for.
I wasn't really cheering for anybody.
Okay,
It was
all
just
right.
that was another one of those. I just want to see a good game.
Gotcha. And it was a
then-
great game.
And then the one I remember watching just so intently that I really enjoyed. Probably wasn't the best played Super Bowl, but the amount of crazy plays in it made it great. The Steelers Cardinals Super Bowl with the Santonio Holmes
reach,
catch
the
in the end
reach.
zone. You had the James Harrison right before half, the 99 or 98 fumble return for a touchdown to like end half was fantastic. But I'm gonna give you a kind of an opposite Super Bowl memory. So I can't. You guys tell me the year or the Super Bowl number, but Falcons Patriots, the 28-3 game.
Okay.
We drove to Orlando to take Harper to Disney World for the first time. So we drove down and we stayed the night on Saturday, Flagler Beach or something like that, and came to Orlando on Sunday morning. Checked in the hotel. We're staying at the Contemporary. We're all dog tired. We're laying in bed, getting ready to go to sleep, watching the Super Bowl. Okay, it's 28-3 on halftime. Click. Turned it off. Watched absolute zero of the second half.
And we know what happened.
Woke up the next morning,
Oh my!
looked at my phone. I was like, I'll click through ESPN. Patriots win the Super Bowl comeback. I was like, are you fucking kidding me right now? So famously, and I think he's told this story, and Cousin Sal and Simmons have talked about it. Mark Wahlberg was at the game, like rooting on the Patriots, was in a
he
suite,
left
stuff like-
early.
flew home on a private jet at halftime, missed the entire second half as well. Did not catch a second of the second half of the game. Literally went to halftime. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ, this is
I'm out. Yeah.
Clicked it off, slept like a baby, and did Disney World for the next 3
So
days.
he pulled a U.
Huh?
He pulled a U. He woke up the next morning and saw the score.
Well, I assume he was on his private jet, and then they're maybe watching it or checking it, going, I wish we could turn this thing around right now.
Wow. That's tough.
That is tough.
I mean, he's a diehard too. I mean, he had his own sports card. He got in one of these recent.
Did he really?
Yeah, he did. He was on the Patriots.
Marky Mark?
Marky Mark got one.
The Funky Bunch?
He was not with the Funky Bunch on the card.
Sick.
Donnie was not in it.
So you obviously don't have a Commanders Super Bowl. You got some Panthers stuff, so I'd be interested to see where you go with this.
So funny enough, my favorite Super Bowl memory is the 28-3 Super Bowl.
Okay.
But the reason it's my favorite memory is a little funny. So I had a good friend back in the day named Elliot, and he was a huge Patriots fan. And he took me from being a Tom Brady hater to a Tom Brady lover. Like, the dude's the GOAT. I just love him.
You can't deny it.
You can't deny it.
Yeah.
So I was working at the courthouse at the time, and I was invited to a Super Bowl party at one of the people I work with's house. So I get there, and I am the only person there rooting for the Patriots. I mean, the only person. And everybody's talking so much shit at halftime. They're like, Tom Brady's washed. This is over with.
I was going to
whatever.
say, is this just because of is this the reason Milk Guy hates Tom Brady, which is just too much winning?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it's too much winning. And the entire second half, I felt like a king. I was just talking so much shit to everybody. And I had nothing to win. I wasn't gambling.
You also
on
had
it.
nothing to lose when
I had
they were
nothing
down.
to lose either.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it didn't
yeah.
matter. Yeah, it didn't matter. But
There's something to be said for going against the grain.
yes,
when
and
everybody
that's,
else there
that's
is
very much so what it was doing.
Because you weren't there with anybody who was a Falcons fan.
Oh no, and I didn't like half these people. It was the courthouse, for God's sake. I mean, there were reasons that I went that we won't talk about on this podcast. But it was incredible. It was absolutely incredible, and I'll never forget it. Now, my other favorite Super Bowl memory, because I about picked this one, was the Seahawks interception in the end zone.
Also, yeah.
Yeah.
Why
Legend.
Big
they
deal.
didn't hand it off to the best running back in the league at the time will forever boggle my mind.
It goes down as one of the ultimate gaffes. I mean,
Yeah.
It's
like
the
the
John,
kick.
it's the
like
John
the kick.
Casey kick out of bounds.
100%.
I think
no
it's worse
less-
than that personally.
It
Because
is. It is. Yeah.
all you do is hand him the ball and Skittles runs it in the end zone. I mean,
Yeah,
just,
he could
it's
fall
guaranteed.
over into
Yeah,
the end zone.
guaranteed.
You don't throw that ball there.
And they throw a pick.
Yep.
And you never really know why.
No.
No.
You can ask Russell Wilson. You can ask Pete Carroll.
It goes
all
to the
day.
grave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
if
That
there
that
was-
stuff goes to the
If
grave.
it was Russell Wilson calling the play, or if Pete Carroll called that play in, or if there was pressure like I want to throw this or what, who knows? But to not give that would be the equivalent of the Eagles being down 5 with 8 seconds left in this game on the 1 yard line,
and they throw it.
and they decide to fake the tush push and go with some goofy ass throw.
Right.
Yeah.
It would be like the Ravens being the Super Bowl and not
giving it to Derrick Henry.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
you give that ball up. 100%.
Yeah.
You give him the ball.
But I'll never forget watching it because I was just dumbfounded.
It was nuts.
I was absolutely dumbfounded when that happened.
And I don't know about you guys, but I've consistently watched the last 15, maybe 20.
Sure.
I mean, you're a little younger than I am, but of your own volition, like you
Yeah,
pick to,
where
you pick
yeah,
to
yeah.
watch
where
it.
you're
So, like,
watching it. Yeah,
yeah,
because I
like-
think when you're younger, if you're watching the Super Bowl, a lot of us just you go to some
Yeah, see, this
your
was
parents' friends or family Super Bowl
You
party.
might
also
this
have
was-
a
You're
bedtime.
goofing around. And
yeah,
you're
This was the youth group Super Bowl. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
like which another funny story. So the same year of the Patriots Panthers Super Bowl, I was at the youth group, missed the nip slip. But I'll never forget everybody.
You catch it on the internet, bro.
Yeah, you're right. Everybody had to bring some food, right? That's how we did this. And I'll never forget my mom made rotel. But at the time, my dad was a big deer hunter, and she made it with deer sausage.
and you told
And
nobody.
I told nobody until the very end, and all of my friends were like sick to their stomach. It was absolutely hilarious.
Because it just gives the idea of eating deer just put them off so much?
Yeah, for whatever reason.
Or your dad just put deer in there with bacteria, they were literally sick to their
No,
stomach.
no, no,
That was
no, no,
the
no.
idea
This
of
was
deer.
sanitary. Yeah, they're like, oh my god, you killed Bambi.
So I had the halftime show with my parents, and I will never forget the fact that I'm sitting there with my mom and dad. The three of us are watching the Super Bowl. It's the Panthers. It happens, and my mom looks at my dad and says, "Was she wearing whatever she was wearing at the time?" And I was like, "You didn't have to call it out, Mom." Like, I was like, we all saw it. We know what happened here. It was almost as bad as Thanksgiving '97 when my whole family went to see the Titanic, and I was sitting beside my grandma watching the Kate Winslet painting scene. I was like,
Oh my god!
I was that's
Grandma.
Oh no,
Is that a booby?
that was my first movie.
Yeah. No. That's fine. She's wearing a
Jeez,
dress.
nuts feel funny.
I did feel funny. I was a whopping 9 years old. I was like, that's not good for business.
Jeez, nuts are growing.
we never talked about it again.
Did your voice get a little deeper after that?
It was not a good day.
I love this movie.
Yeah, it's my favorite movie. So yeah. All right, final pick. Final pick.
All right, let's. We'll go with the big one, then we'll finish off with our. We want to do our victory cigar, so let's go with our official Super Bowl pick. Like we talked about, it could be a parlay, but it's got to include the who you think is going to win this game. G, I'm gonna start with you.
I'm laying the points -1.5. Chiefs get it done. Yeah, minus. Let's see. Is that 125? As I said it earlier.
Should be minus 110.
Minus 110.
Minus 110.
110 laying the points.
Yeah.
Yep. You don't bet against the Chiefs, man.
Yep.
I've said that last 3 years. Every time they've played and won. Well, last 2 years now this year, but I can't bet against the Chiefs. I think they rise to the occasion if
I'm
they
with
have
you.
to.
I like it to be a good game, so I'm gonna take the Chiefs money line, but I'm gonna pair it with the 49.5 over plus 232.
It's a good bet.
So I'm doing the same thing you are, but I don't know if the odds were different when I did it or not. I got it at plus 247.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Yeah, probably
Chiefs
just a little
points
bit.
in the over.
Yeah, I just don't think you can go against the Chiefs.
It's destiny at this point, right?
I mean,
And I kind of want to see it. I kind of want to see a 3.
Make history.
I've never done it.
Yeah.
here's
I want to see the best players do the great thing. So let me see it.
Right off in the sunset
Yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah.
so I pulled against the Chiefs last year.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even remember who they played. Who they
Niners.
played. The
Niners, yeah.
I want to see the Niners get it. The thing about the Eagles, there is one Eagles fan in this world that I like, and that's Cole. Every other Eagles fan that I know is obnoxious, and I don't like them. And for that reason alone, I will pull for the Chiefs.
Yeah, I like it. All right, well, we're going to finish on 2 things. So first, you said you were smoking it now, but we all kind of want to talk about if you're the Super Bowl winning quarterback, you're pumped, you get to go back in the locker room, you get sprayed with champagne, you're having a victory cigar, what that cigar is going to be.
Yeah, like I said, mine's Padron. This is all hanging on the fact that I'm not a cigar guy at the time, right? Like, if I am I am who I am now, but I'm playing in the Super Bowl, I would have my own line of cigars.
Oh, sure.
So that would be my victory cigar, right? But
It's your own brand you're bringing out.
correct.
Sharing
Yeah,
it with
yeah,
the
yeah.
boys.
yeah,
right.
but
Flashing it on TV.
Make
Correct.
sure that
Go to the pipeandpint.net, pick up the e-bots too.
that's exactly right.
By
That's
Tatawa.
exactly right. That's exactly right. But yeah, it's Padron. They're the best, some of the best, and that's what it would be.
Yeah, it's not going to come as any surprise to you for this, but if I was doing it, Opus, the blue, the 20th, it's my favorite cigar. Hits right. You know, I don't think you want something. I don't think after you're probably dehydrated coming off the thing, you're like looking to suck down an LFD and yak on national television. Or anything like that.
that was mine. But
If you're breaking the box out, the box is going to look good if everybody's passing them out and everything.
got
like
some
that.
nice
So,
bands on there.
Yeah, the bands look good. You get a lot of people who are watching are good. If it's a cigar person, is going to recognize it. So yeah, Opus Blue 20th for me.
So I'm going the LFD. Big ring gauge, big cigar, Lajero 707. A little homage to James Bond.
How comfortable are you Erin Andrews is in your face. She's got the
And I got the 10 by
she's got
100
the
in my mouth?
jacket on you. How big of a ring gauge are you comfortable? It's going to be clipped and memed
Yeah.
and everything like that.
I'm going 10 by 100, baby. I'm going to Disney World.
Good night.
I'm going. I won the Super Bowl.
Go big or go home.
Exactly. I'm smoking the
respect it.
biggest cigar that I can find.
And you're not.
No shame.
Because you just won
You're a
the
Super Bowl champion.
That's right.
You're a Super Bowl champion, and you're not going to mind the 10 years of memes
No.
with you.
In fact,
with
if I won the
with
Super Bowl,
people
I'm the
substituting,
MVP. If I want
drawing
to,
a
if I want
song
to, I'm
into your
smoking
mouth.
this. No, yeah, I'm smoking it all day. Little Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper, Dominican filler binder. Yeah, I like a good LFD, and it's not going to be for your dehydrated for the whole game, especially if you're smoking a by 70. But yeah, you got nowhere to go tomorrow other than Disney World. Smoke your cigar and enjoy it. Have a good time.
I like it.
Yeah, you're just going to give Garrett, where are you going? Jeez nuts, where are you going after you won this game?
To the toilet. That's where I'm going.
Take a shit.
No, I just smoked a 10 by 100. I got to take a pit stop real quick.
All right, before we go, you can do me one favor.
Yep.
Ring Cole up on speakerphone. Pump it up and give it to me real quick. All
right.
We have our lone Eagles guy. We know what the pick's going to be.
While we're calling Cole, best halftime show all time, real quick.
Bruno Mars.
You going Bruno?
Yep.
I'm going Prince.
I like that.
I'm going Prince.
Will Cole answer?
Best Super Bowl or halftime show, go.
I don't know, man.
You going Dre? You going a little hip hop?
I like Dre's Super Bowl.
Hey, it's Jason. Hey, you're on speakerphone. You're our last pick. We just did we're doing the Super Bowl preview podcast. So you get the last pick. I got it up to the microphone. Tell me what you got for this game.
I'm taking the Eagles 35-28.
35-28 Eagles.
35-28 Eagles.
How many touchdowns for Saquon?
3 touchdowns for Saquon.
Woo, baby.
I like
Yeah,
it.
we
That
like
was one from a parlay.
Going plus 12 hundo probably.
Saquon can do it too.
I like it.
All right.
All right. Well, we're all pulling for your Eagles. We may have all bet the Chiefs monetarily, but
Yeah.
we're all pulling
In
for your
spirit.
Eagles for you, buddy.
Yeah.
Can't blame it, but as long as your heart's with the Eagles, that's what matters.
All right. Perfect. All right. Well, we'll see how it goes, and we'll talk to you later, buddy.
All right, have a good one, man.
See ya.
At the end of the day, let's have a good game. I want to see a good game. I wouldn't care who won. I think the Eagles get their chance at some point, even if they don't win it this year. So let's have a good game.
Yep. I like it.
I will say this last thing. I think the Chiefs make it back again.
Again, yeah.
Oh, this is not the end of their window. Whether Travis Kelce retires or not.
Is this the window for the Eagles?
No. No. I actually think
Is this the window opening for the Eagles?
yeah, I think their window is a little bit larger than it was because of the Saquon factor.
You get about 2 more solid years out of Saquon. I do
about
too. 2 more years.
Yeah, I don't think it's the next 5 years, but I think you could just as easily see them back in the Super Bowl next year.
Yeah. Okay.
G, thanks, buddy.
Awesome.
Great picks.
Loved
E,
it.
Honored to be here. Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Look out for the Stogies coming soon, and
Stogies.
we'll see y'all later.
I'm gonna go smoke a 10 by 100.
You just got cheese nuts.